Yo, 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 yo. What's up, what's up, what's up? Give up the rock. And hello to my fellow revolutionaries. You know who you are. And welcome to today's stream. It is Friday, the 19th of December 2025. The countdown is on hard. We are almost at the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen. And it is Friday. That's right. To all you working people out there, you have done it again. You've made it to the end of another working week, indirectly or directly in the service of capital. Voltateur's in the house. Time to get radical, dude. And we got dilemmas too. How you going? What's up? What's up? Give it up for our government's inability to say the words Islamic fundamental terrorists. It's just not in the vocab. I'm assuming we're talking about here. So welcome to today's stream. As you know, we like to start a Friday with some pleasantries, some formalities. Let's say, Lop Jeff, woo capital on Twitchland today. How you going? Hope you are well, and to all of you that are watching this as well. Maybe you're lurking today, but if you can, do the roll call, say hi. That would be nice. And if you're watching this after the fact, my welcoming to you. If you are watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and hit the like button. It does assist greatly with search and discovery, so you know what to do. But yes, let us start off with our usual Friday pleasantries. It is the day before the weekend, and the weekend is the most important time on the calendar of the working person's week. It is those 2 days that you get of freedom outside of the clutches of capital in a traditional sense. Many people worked, fought, and probably died so you could have a weekend. And so we should all appreciate it. We should all appreciate it muchly. Enjoy those 2 days of freedom. And that's why Friday is so important. That's why we have things like Friday feelings, because we know that we are about to be released from our servitude. So I'd like to pay my respects then to workers past, present, and emerging. It is on your shoulders, so it's on your backs, actually, that the entirety of modern life has been built. All of the stuff that you see around you today, everything has been built because of somebody's labor, somebody's effort. And that is something I think that is definitely worth acknowledging and being appreciative for. We don't take stock in modern times to really be grateful for anything. I don't think it's really something that we're all attuned to do. We're attuned to consume. But I don't think we're really attuned to appreciate things. And let's just take stock every now and again. We like to do this once a week. Take stock and remember the fact that all of the stuff that we have today is thanks to working people just like you. And it is amazing the type of societies that we have today, the productive capacity that we have today, all the wonders of the modern world, and it's all thanks to working people. So yeah, I hope that you do get a weekend. I hope you do. If you don't, I hope you get duly compensated for that. I hope you get some type of penalty rates or some type of compensation, or like a day in lieu or something along those lines if you have to work over the weekend. And I hope whatever conditions you have are upheld, and something that is retained for as long as possible, so you can enjoy the weekend. It's really, really important stuff. So in saying that, we're going to get into Far Right Fridays. We are up to part 7 of Far Right Fridays from an Australian perspective. So if you're new or you haven't been around for a Friday stream before, Far Right Fridays is a time where we go through and try to understand how people get their right-wing style ideology online, like how they kind of what they learn about online, where they get their information from, where they get their ideas from. And so we've spent the last 7 Fridays now looking at the Australian right-wing pipeline, let's call it. And we've spent the last few weeks now, I want to say maybe this is the third, could be more than that. We've been looking at Pauline Hanson's Please Explain, a small cartoon like mini series that's on her official YouTube channel, and we are like halfway through the second season. There's 3 seasons. People have been absolutely chomping in the bit to get back into this, and so we will return to Please Explain by Pauline Hanson, the cartoon miniseries. But before we do that, we're going to have some updates on the whole Bondi situation. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a mass shooting event at Bondi on Sunday, and it's literally been all that anyone can talk about in Australia ever since. It seems like everything else has disappeared into obscurity, and this is the only thing that we're allowed to say. So we're not going to do that today, apart from a couple of little updates here, and then we're going to jump into our actual Friday, Far Right Fridays programming, so we can get down and dirty with that stuff. But first of all, we're going to have a look at some developments when it comes to the AFP. AFP has made some announcements, and then we're going to look at the ramifications of that announcement. So the Australian Federal Police have warned that they're going to start moving on extremists and hate speech, hate preachers, I think they've described it as, and there has already been some stuff undertaken in that regard, as what Dilemmas is referring to. Seeing there were 7 blokes arrested heading for Bondi not even a week later. Just for context, they were taken at a place called Liverpool in southwest Sydney. Dun, dun, dun. There's that Western Sydney coming up again to scare us all. And they were caught in Liverpool, and that is, if you know a bit about Sydney's geography, is a long way from Bondi. So like they could be heading in any direction from Liverpool, really. But so the mainstream media tells us they were going to Bondi, and they were coming to get you for round number 2. So let's have a quick look and actually see what the AFP have been saying about this, or what they have threatened, and then what's actually come about as a result of that. And then we'll get into the Far Right Friday stuff. So let's have a quick look-sees here.
Also, the head of the Federal Police is warning raids are imminent as the AFP moves in on hate preachers and anyone associated with them. Tonight, we also know more about accused Bondi gunman Naveed Akram's trip to the Philippines with his father last month.
And international
local terrorist activities.
The AFP continues to work with both domestic and international partners to build a more complete picture of the movements and who the alleged offenders had contact with both in Australia and offshore.
The country's top cop refusing to confirm whether the accused mass killers received combat instructions overseas.
Hate Preacher sounds like a sick death metal band. It kind of does have that ring to it, doesn't it? Dilemmas. They travelled from Melbourne. Yes, they were in a convoy, apparently, travelling across the country or up from the south to go to Bondi via Liverpool. Bit of a roundabout way of getting there, if you ask me. But, stranger things have happened. Well, that's not what they've said. Islamic hate preachers, right? No, that's not what they said. Unless they're trying to drop that language.
Whether the accused mass killers received combat instructions overseas. But she did have this warning for anyone that may have influenced them back home.
I can also reveal the AFP has ongoing investigations into people who have been described as hate preachers. These individuals who spew hatred and cause fear are on my radar.
They'll be looking at their contacts with preachers with a known reputation for their anti-Jewish rhetoric. They'll be looking at their association with other known groups. They'll be
quack, quack, ducky, ducky. Hello to you. Welcome to the Friday stream.
looking at their travel to the Philippines. They'll be looking at any other connections overseas that they might have had.
Earlier this year, Western Sydney cleric Wissam Haddad was ordered by a court to remove racist and anti-Semitic lectures from social media. He's been linked to surviving gunman Naveed Akram, but denies any personal relationship with the 24-year-old.
Hate speech just didn't pop out of the woodwork over the last couple of weeks. It's been around for the last couple of years.
Tiffany Genders, 9 News.
You would find Mr. ASIO, former ASIO boss, hate speech, depending on how you define it, has been around for as long as there's been humans, I would say. Anti-capitalist and right-wing, how does that work? You'll have to make sense of that. You'll have to watch and find out. There's no quick response to that one. Let me tell you that much for free. They don't want to alienate the big West Sydney voting bloc. Dun, dun, dun. We have used the technology provided by Palantir through the Five Eyes network to monitor and track down those planning to enact violence. When you say quote unquote there, Voltateur, like tell me you didn't actually take that quote from somewhere. And like you just made that up. For God's sakes, tell me you made that up. All right, let's have a quick look here. This is the actual event that Dilemmas is describing. If you haven't heard of this one already,
a senior news.
Yeah, they've detained, they've arrested, accosted 7 individuals in Liverpool. Maybe you're just socially right wing and economically left. Maybe. The intrigue, right? The suspense. You're gonna have to find out. No, it's the guns. I heard the rifle shooting Allah Akbar as it racked itself. Fair enough. All right, let's have a
South Wales
listen.
police officer says a group of men arrested in Sydney's southwest yesterday have ideological links to the 2 Bondi gunmen. Heavily armed officers
Okay,
arrested.
so like if you have ideological links to someone, that means you share their ideology. It's in the same way that if I'm anti-capitalist, as Quack Quack Ducky Ducky has described, I have ideological roots to anyone on planet Earth that also is anti-capitalist. Right, interesting descriptor there.
7 men in Liverpool last night. Our reporter Max Tillman joins us from Sydney now with more on this. Hi there, Max. So just take us through what we know about this investigation so far.
The mystery, that's it.
Good morning, Mel. Well, it was the Tactical Operations Unit of the New South Wales Police that conducted those dramatic arrests in Liverpool and Sydney's southwest yesterday afternoon. We understand 7 men currently in custody. Those 2 vehicles that were rammed by the Tactical Operations Unit in the process of those dramatic arrests, we understand, are registered in Victoria, and all 7 men from Victoria travelling up to New South Wales effectively in a convoy. We understand that they are known to Victoria Police, New South Wales Police, this morning confirming that they're looking into the possibility that Bondi Beach was one of the potential locations that convoy of vehicles were travelling to. We've heard from...
Okay, so we got 7 dudes. Let's just like look at the material, like the stuff that we've got here objectively. We got 7 dudes in a couple of cars that have driven up from Bondi, and they were stopped in southwest Sydney and taken out of the car. They've got ideological links, as in they share the same ideas, and they possibly were going to Bondi. So like the culture war narrative has already been set on this one. It's like 7 men apprehended going to Bondi from Melbourne. Like this is loose stuff at this point by the mainstream media, you must say. Well, an actual National Socialist could be considered culturally right-wing and economically left-wing, in my opinion. Absolutely. There's a lot of class rhetoric that comes out of National Socialism. A lot of class rhetoric. All right.
From police this morning that they do believe that there could be an ideological link between those 7 men dramatically arrested yesterday in Liverpool and the 2 gunmen allegedly responsible for Sunday's terror attack here at Bondi Beach. Now, we also understand that a knife was seized in a subsequent search following the arrest of those 7 men. Now, in some of the footage that the ABC has obtained, it shows highly armed and camouflaged members of the Tactical Operations Unit ramming at least one of those silver hatchbacks that the men were travelling up from Victoria in. That first interception took place at an intersection in Liverpool. We understand that the Tactical Operations Unit
I
rammed...
won't say it, but it's like right out. This is right out the front of Liverpool Westfields. I don't know why they won't really talk about that for some reason. But like this is pretty much in the heart of Liverpool. There's like to the right of the screen there's a school there. I think it's a Catholic school, and there's like behind it or like in the background there you can see all the units, and then behind these people are filming from the car park in Liverpool Westfields, basically.
That vehicle with one of their own vehicles, jumped out of the car with their weapons raised in full camouflage, dramatically dragging those men out of the car. Some of the footage that we have seen shows at least 5 of those men on the side of the road with handcuffs of zip ties. And you can also see in some of that footage that some of those men appear to have suffered injuries, potentially in the course of their arrest. Now, while New South Wales Police do say that their early investigations show that there could potentially be some sort of ideological link between the alleged shooters here at Bondi on Sunday and those men arrested yesterday, they do say that they were working on what they've described as criminal intelligence that suggests that the group could have potentially been planning what police have described as a violent act. But despite that, they do say that at least in the early stages of their preliminary investigation, it's important to remember that this really only occurred in the last 12 hours or so. Police do say at this time, at this moment, they don't believe there was any definitive link between those arrests yesterday and Sunday's terror attack.
Well, what do you make of that one? Hey, because the only stuff I've heard about this is in like headlines and stuff like that, and from more like commercial media outlets, and it's like, they've been linked together. And like the last thing that they say there, if you just stop to read the headline or watch the first 30 seconds, you don't get the point that there really isn't anything to suggest at this point that they're linked at all.
We say at this time, at this moment, they don't believe there was any definitive link between those arrests yesterday and Sunday's terror attack.
So like, what is this then? What do you think? Like, is this some just type of, hey, we got to do something, right? Let's make an arrest. It was like what we were looking at yesterday with the at the end of yesterday's stream with the arrest of those 4 people that were planning a terrorist attack on New Year's Eve in California, and they were foiled by the police. But you know, was it in response to Trump's directive to go after far left terrorists, and they found one because they want to report on it? Is that the similar thing that's going on here? The government, I don't know, needs to look like it's got its finger on the pulse and it's reacting to things. So who knows? We'll find out. Tom Jones, g'day mate. Just normal Raptor raid, nothing special. Riot, I want to say that I'm saying that right. Riot 9, hello, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Remain calm. We're on top of this. Yeah, it's a bit like that. It seems a little bit like that, especially like when you hear the stuff. Oh, you're just like slightly. Yeah, we don't think there's any actual connection between the two, but we've got a whole bunch of people in a car, and it's good for the old optics at this point. Hey, you people are blinded with bullshit, says Michael Lazarevsky. Scathing insight there. Good on ya. Congratulations. Welcome to the stream. I heard the government's response to this attack was tightening the gun laws further. Correct. We investigated that yesterday, and they are looking to do 3 things. If I can remember off the top of my head, they want to limit the amount of guns that people can have. They want to make it... what were the 3 things? They're looking at making it more difficult to get licenses for certain things. I can't remember what the 3rd one was. Yeah. Happy Friday, folks. Woozle, you're joining early. It's good to have you. Remember, if you're on YouTube right now, make sure you hit the like button and help with the search and discovery. Dilemmas, looks like you are bringing familiar faces into the stream. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves when you get a chance. But yeah, that's it. That's the recent development that's happened in the whole Bondi situation. I think that they need to show that they're doing stuff. ASIO's been copping a lot of flack. The cops have been copping a lot of flack. Government been copping a lot of flack. Elbow Sleazy has been copping a lot of flack. And so like there's some interesting press there. But so far, what do we got? 7 dudes arrested, got a knife on them. Ideological links, again, I could be ideologically linked with anyone that's read the same books that I've read, or, you know, I don't know, follows the same propaganda that I follow. It's an interesting way of saying people are linked together, can I just say. Very interesting framing of the conversation there. Restricting lever action shotguns and looking at lever release and push button. I'm hearing news totally lack of security for Bondi event, and they have their own security that weren't there. As in, like, the event should have had security and stuff like that, and they went on top of that. It's an interesting one, isn't it? It's an interesting one because usually they do have security at events. So it's an interesting point. But, like, you know, what would security have done in an event like that? It does beg the question as well. But if they were a bit laxed on their management plan, because all events have to have a management plan, if they were laxed on their management plan, you know, security, if nothing else, is on the lookout and can help like get people out of a emergency situation. And they're more trained, I guess, than the average person in emergency scenarios. So it's an interesting point there. I have heard some say that as well, that security was lacking, which is questionable, to say the least, especially given the circumstances. Now, there's one other thing I wanted to have a look at on Bondi before we get into the actual Far Right Fridays, which is why we're here. I have a special security detail for Jewish events, yes. And they have special government funding too. We looked at, remember when we, I'm not sure, maybe you weren't here, but we looked at the NSN rally, the National Socialist Network of Australia rally, outside New South Wales Parliament, and they'd made some wild accusations that, like, the Australian government spends, you know, millions and millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. Actually, I think they insinuated it was like $130 million on special security money for Jewish events and Jewish spaces. And yeah, we found out that they spend about $60 million a year, I think, from the evidence that we found on security details and things like that. But that's for everything, like schools, cultural icons, places of public worship, so like the synagogues, all that sort of stuff. All right, so let's have a look at this one. So this is the lady of the hour. We're going to be looking at Pauline Hanson today, and we're going to be looking at her little cartoon series. But she rocked up at Bondi a couple of days ago, and it seems to have been, I don't know, important enough for the media to chase. And so, like, let's have a look what she has to say to people, because we're going to be watching her. Like I said, we're going to be watching her cartoon today. 130 million is all compared to what they spent looking for one person in the bush. LOL. Oh, how much did they spend on that? Do you actually have a figure? How you going, Spandonk? Australian right-wing freaks blaming government is disgusting. I'm glad the Jewish Australians get extra security, but the rest of us can just pound sand. Yeah. Well, look, I think there is funds in there for security for other religions as well. So it's, I think there's other denominations of faith and all that sort of stuff. They get levels of security-related funding from the Australian government.
My heart goes out to everyone here. My heart goes out to everyone here in the Jewish community. What has happened? It is devastating.
Look who it fucking is.
And it's
hey, if it wasn't good enough to have her there and this guy, Mr. Joyce, you've got Up front, Mr. Yemeni, hey? What's he doing there? Look at him, hey? With the establishment media right there with his little Rebel News microphone. Fuck.
Shocking to believe that this has happened.
I forgot about watching Hanson Toons. Combination of two things I hate: Hanson and cartoons. You hate cartoons? Oh man. Look, some of it's pretty funny. You got to admit, like the depictions of like politicians. Hey, come on. All the culture war nonsense though. Hey, but like making fun of politicians, I think everyone can get down with that. Avi couldn't get the mic closer if he tried. I think he's trying to feed her with it. Yeah, what the hell? Look at that. It's like, yes, look how official I am. All right. What's this? Flow breezy. Islamic terrorists conduct mass shooting. Let's blame white racists. So many right wingers are hammering down as immigration is the major factor for increased violence in Australia because their cultures down respect the previous Australian way of life. It's a big talking point. It's a big talking point. And I saw someone on TikTok, I want to say he's a member of the NSN. He seems to love the NSN. And he was just like, stop saying that this person was born in Australia. Stop trying to use that against me in the comments. I'm sick of it. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like, well, he was born in Australia. Like, what do you want to do in that regard, Mr. Immigration Man? Like, are you going to stop immigration and you're going to stop this guy from being born in Australia? Hey, like, you can't take him somewhere else. He was born in Australia. What are you going to do there? Sorry, don't. Where did you say don't? So many right-wingers are hammering down as immigration is the major factor for increased violence in Australia because their cultures don't respect the previous way of life. Got it. Sorry. That makes way more sense now. Thank you, Voltaire. Britain uses Bondi attack to crack down on protesters, kids starver, working for we know who. Small man has to have some actual purpose. Microphone stand is probably the most constructive he's been. That's fucking hilarious. I'm calling it early. We're only fucking 20 minutes in. I'm calling it early. That's comment of the day. Microphone stand is probably the most constructive he's ever been. He's a good microphone stand, isn't he? Hey? Because, like, you know, he doesn't take away from Pauline Hanson at all. That's fucking hilarious. Also, why is Barnaby redder than my balls when I get out of a hot shower? He needs better blood pressure meds. Oh my God. See, like, that's the thing, right? We can all get down when on that cartoon, she is portraying Barnaby as a beetroot. Like, we can all get down with that type of stuff. He was born in Australia, but the culture he grew up in was anti-Australian values. It's an interesting point. Because so we have to just take on face value from that guy. Remember we watched the guy that he was working with, the Bricky, sitting there speaking, having a yarn with Channel 9 or whoever the fuck it was. And he was just like, yeah, he was born Christian. And so he was born Christian and his mum's Italian and his dad's Indian. Not your run-of-the-mill Islamic terrorist archetype or stereotype that we have there. But yeah, converted later in life. Both of them did, apparently. But you don't hear them speaking about that a lot. That is Indian, Italian. And like, you know, what is that saying then? If everyone's saying that these cultures don't respect Australian values, there's a lot of Italian people I know that would be upset with that. A lot of Indian people I know that would be upset with that as well. I rate that comment. That comment was gold. There it is. You've got the award Woozle comment of the day. Self-hating microphone stand, it seems. Holy red lobster, Batman. Oh man, you don't convert to Islam. You revert. Ooh, there we go. Hey, that is the default option, and you've wandered astray, and you're back again. We got you back, baby. Dr. Nathan, how are you going? Hope you are well on this hot Friday. In Trump form, let's call it what it is. It's hot. Friday is hot today. It's hot. It's so hot right now.
In Australia, and our streets,
he's right there, bro.
like common Australians,
get out of there.
is that never give up hope that we can turn this around. We make change with this, but it starts with our leaders of this nation on the floor of Parliament to make sure that we give the right message, that Australians have a right to walk around this place, wherever it is in our country, without fear, that they must have the right to live in peace. I want to stand about the hatred that's happening in this country.
Well, let's see you do it.
Yeah.
That is my job. And I have not stopped talking out about this. And I've stood strong with the Jewish community over the past 2 years. I've been ridiculed for it. I've had a go at, but I've stood strong that this should never have happened. Everyone has a right in this country. It doesn't matter whether you're born here or whether you've migrated here.
Got two
for a better
mics
way of
now. You
life.
were right. Oh my God, Woo's the biggest caller of the day. He's now holding Sky News microphones. He is a glorified mic stand, and it is the most constructive he's ever been. Look at him. He's got two now. Oh my God. Have you seen this before? How did you know that was happening? God, yes, she hasn't stopped talking. Her votes show she doesn't act, just talk. Dun, dun, dun. And vote with the coalition too. Can't forget that. I'm 53, never converted to anything. Well, look, there's still time to revert, according to Dr. Nathan. Yep, white supremacists love them. All right, let's back.
Everyone has a right to walk the streets in peace without fear. Yes. And that's what my message is. We can do it. Let's get back the Australia that I grew for.
Pauline and
That I grew
Barnaby are
what?
now...
That I grew up in? Why'd they cut her off? That's a bit rude. Eh? Channel 7.
here posing for some photographs. There is the floral tributes in the background. Pauline, the fact that the Prime Minister was here very early yesterday morning, when there were very few people here, what does that say to you that he came, he did not to speak to press, did not do a press conference? What does that say to you?
Here comes the fucking culture wars on this one. Hey, Alba was here, but he didn't do a good job, did he? He came here early in the morning, wouldn't speak to anyone. What do you think about that, Pauline? Tell us your thoughts.
Thanks, Barnaby Joyce. Good work, brother.
Didn't he speak to the media? Didn't he speak to the people?
No, I don't believe so.
That is not the leader of this nation. You know, if you're for this, then face the people.
Do you think he feared the reaction here?
Yes, he did.
He did.
He did, but that doesn't matter. You know, you earn up, you turn up, you fess up, you pay up, you correct. You don't. If you can't.
Did you fear the reaction? Did you think that maybe it might have been a hostile crowd? And are you surprised by the welcome?
No, I thought that. To be honest, I thought Pauline's it was going to be very well received, and I think
he's directly interviewing Barnaby Joyce. This is his moment in the sunshine right here. Tony Burke got booed out of there even at 4 a.m. LOL. Even Elbow alone, not his fault. Yeah, well, like, how is it? Like, honestly, when you hear that type of rhetoric, you're just like, you're to blame for this. It's like, well, is he? Like, how do you blame, like, one person for events of this nature? What do you expect people to do? What do you expect politicians to do? Get in bulletproof vests and stand out the front of places of public worship? It's fucking nonsense. It's nonsense. Irwin 89, vote One Nation. There it is.
but I think that, you know, even when not, you turn up. You know, it's a sign to everybody else of your character.
To listen to what the public have to say, whether you got it right or whether you got it wrong. If you're going to be a member of Parliament to represent the people, then you've got to listen to the people and you've got to hear what they're saying.
And you've been here for 20 minutes. You met Matilda's family.
Yes, I have.
The heartbreak of looking in their eyes, Pauline.
They're devastated.
What do you take from this? Speaking to them and others and feeling the energy of what this represents.
People want change. People want to feel safe in the streets. They want to know that they're not being targeted. And that's where I see it as being targeted. So the first thing I'd like to do is call on the Prime Minister to deal with these hate preachers that are out on our streets. Should not be allowed.
Where did somebody get the memo that we all missed? So, like, she said the word hate preacher, which is now the name of a metal band, apparently. But she said the word, and this is 2 days ago. And now today, we've seen 2 media reports and they're saying the word hate preachers. Someone spread the memo throughout Parliament and to all the parliamentarians, all the senators. It's like, this is what we're going to be doing next. Start using the rhetoric and go. Hate preachers. Yeah, Labor Party in general is to blame for more than just Albo. Terrible border security policies and policing follow-up. It's an interesting point, but like, you know, this dude was in the sights of ASIO in 2019, and last I checked, there was a different government there. So it's really interesting that people are so quick to delineate one particular party as taking responsibility for all of this, as opposed to a broad reach of any governments that have been around for long enough to do something about national security. It's very interesting. Get a haircut. You look like a retard. Interesting. That's not fair. I like Pauline Hanson's haircut. I wouldn't say that. Boone, I would keep it respectful if I was you moving forward. She's doing her best. She's doing her best. Maybe she needs to get a new makeup artist. And Dr. Nathan, have you seen the announcement of more security powers yet? No, nothing specific. I've seen like talk changes to hate law, hate speech. I haven't seen anything about new security powers, but I'm assuming when you say something like security powers, I'm assuming you mean in regards to extra terrorism powers, maybe in related to that sort of stuff. I'm assuming. Jaden Storas, watching my brother-in-law that lives in regional New South Wales repost Pauline Hanson kills me. Yeah, well, like Sky News and Channel 7 are doing all the work for you. You don't even have to wait for people to repost it. You get it. Get it right here, especially for public, community, and faith leaders and hate speech. Okay, we are hate preachers, and this song is called Fire and Blood. Yeah, right. Yeah, ASIO are to blame more than any other party or legacy or agency. Sorry, in my opinion. Yeah. But everyone wants to pass the blame right now. You know, I think that is a fair point, right? There's, you know, there was like a moment, I would say, like Monday maybe, where everyone was like pretty respectful and just like, you know, allowing people to grieve. And then since Monday, it's just been nonstop. All right, this is it. This is our chance to get political points. Let's keep going, and let's like hammer our opposition and throw them to the wolves. And then you have BB in the background. Hey, good old Benjamin Netanyahu, who's just like turning up the fire constantly, hey, just to get back at Elbow Sleazy for recognizing Palestinian statehood. This is my chance. Now I've got him by the balls. But yeah, everyone wants to get in on the blame game at the moment. She should look in the mirror. Hate creature. That's not a bad point. It's not a bad point, right? And she's been doing it for a long time. She's perfected the game. She has. Her initial claim to fame was going after Asians. Now they're not really that cool anymore. So there's other people that need to be thrown under the bus. Your haircut, you retard. Oh yeah, I know. You tell her, bro. You tell her, Boone. I'll tell her for you. Pauline Hanson, get a haircut. All right, Boone's not happy. Hey, Boone's not happy at all. But yes, the government as a whole is to blame. See, look, we had this conversation yesterday. All right. Now, if you don't want gun laws to be tight because you can't blame guns, you have to blame the perpetrators. Like, that argumentation is hard. You know, that form of logic is hard to carry over there, because you can't blame the government then, because you got to blame the people that did the thing, the perpetrators. Those are the people that you got to blame. You can't blame the government. You got to follow with the line of argumentation, I would say. Oh man, that's crazy. Too bad. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah, you got to follow on with the argumentation. It's either the perpetrators are to blame, and so we don't restrict gun laws, or they're not to blame, and we need government action. We need stricter gun laws, and we need the government to step down because they've failed and all that sort of stuff. I don't think we can have it both ways. Still don't understand why there are so many hate speech laws, and yet New South Wales Police and Vic Pol allow NSN to have their protests and rallies in Sydney and Melbourne. It's interesting, isn't it? Because like it's a real fine line. It's a real fine line between people wanting the right to protest in a free society, like allowing people to voice their opinions, and being like, no, you can't say that. It's a real fine line, right? It's not the gun, it's the bullet. Yes, the guns don't kill people, bullets kill people, right? Then Albo allowed ASIO to be removed from the national cabinet meetings. Whatever the justification doesn't look good, feels like someone was ignoring an obvious growing problem. Succinct Chinese meal, Spandong. Yeah, for all the hate laws to still see groups like NSN and Palestine Action allowed to walk the streets is wild. Do you really reckon the Palestinian Action Group is a hate? What do you call it? Groups like, okay, right. But like, do you think that someone protesting a genocide like is something that shouldn't be allowed? Spandog, is that how you see it? Why can't both be at fault? Because like in your line of argumentation, you're saying that you can't blame guns. You have to blame the perpetrators. So then you can't blame the government. You got to blame the perpetrators. It's the same thing. If you're saying that both can be at fault, then you got to blame guns too. You blame the perpetrators and the guns. You got to blame both. But if you want to pick the one side argument, let's go with one side all the way. So like I'm all for blaming both, but then let's blame both in all the cases because they're related. I don't think people wanting to blame the government and individuals are thinking that much about it. No, I'd say no. I really think that, like we said it on Monday, we're like, let's try and analyze this and just listen to people talking about the event, like witnesses, before the culture wars gets taken away on this one. Voltaire, I think the real problem is that they are humans. Get rid of humans and you solve humans that commit violence. There it is. Hey, there's take of the day. That's how you solve the problem. Humans suck. Hey? So like we're gonna have to do something about humans. These degenerates really bring out the worst in our country. I'm curious as to why they think throwing money will fix anti-Semitism. Like it's right. It's like the hate speech stuff as well. It's like, oh, we just need some more laws. That'll do the trick. Hey, let's get some more hate laws going in there, or anti-hate speech laws going in there, because they had a lot already. They had heaps. We've looked at it before. And you have people like Benjamin Netanyahu being like, they've done nothing about anti-Semitism. And you're like, but they have. They've been doing a lot of stuff about it. Like, what do you want? What else do you want? Oh yeah, they're a terror organization in the UK. The government are to blame for the murder. The government is to blame for failing to do its job and do everything in their power to keep citizens safe. I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard that the style of argumentation there. The gunmen are to blame for the murder. That's it. If that's how you want to frame it, then let's frame it all the way. Let's go full ball on this one. Just the ties they have with extreme Islamic groups, their funding isn't sourced well, even if their activists are more Western and well-meaning. One group protesting peace, the other white supremacist, big difference. I mean, why is someone on an ASIO watch list allowed to live with 6 guns in their house? Good question. It's a fantastic question. And like, why wasn't it dealt with at the time? Back in 2019? It's a really, really good question. They could have nipped this one in the bud a long time ago. Now, from my understanding though, they haven't described this person as being one of the people they were actually surveilling. This is just what we've heard from the mainstream media, but they were affiliated with people that were. Humans definitely suck. There you go. In my opinion, Friendly Geordie's video essay yesterday was a pretty good take on bureaucratic failures. The government wouldn't be able to do that much damage with only a sword. They would get exhausted. Yeah, especially the one that we saw tripping over and stuff like that. He wasn't gonna be effective with a sword, I guess. If the government are solely to blame, then why are law-abiding Aussies being punished for it? Now that's a very good question. Very good question. And that's your argument, isn't it? It's just like these people did the wrong thing, so don't blame the rest of us. And so if that's the argumentation, then let's just roll with that. I'm on top of that. Don't pick sides, like you said. Yes, in 2019, but why not since? Yeah, good question. Why not? Why not? Why not in 2019? Why not now? You could blame the government for the shooting and the government for not catching them sooner. But which government? Morrison's government? That's why, like, it traverses a long period of time. And so, like, if who are you going to really look at here? It's difficult. Has Palestinian action hurt any people? It's all BS, bullshit, mate. Dickheads spreading it. Yeah, have they hurt anyone? I don't know. I don't think so. Ben Robert Smith had a full-time AFP surveillance team put on him, but Naveed didn't. I mean, one guy with a knife took down a lot of shoppers at Westfield earlier this year. I wouldn't say assault gun is necessarily better. It's the ideology that is the biggest problem. I think Chairman of the Court here has talked about this. You can see the comment on the Discord. Actually, it's that way. It's that way. It's dialectical. Like you have to deal with two things there. There's an ideological issue, and there is an issue with guns. Like they're two factors that are interrelated, and you can't separate them exactly. It's always who to blame and not how to prevent, and that's what we're seeing here in full force. It's just like must blame someone, must go after Albo. That'll make me look good. The Uni-Party government, Labor and Liberals, are both terrible and have been for a long time. Everyone wants a scapegoat more than they want a solution. These are the same people that vote us into these situations every time. No one wants to talk about the solution. Depending on the solution, I guess you would say.
And people, like the way the Jewish students were treated at the universities was disgusting what's happened in our country. So I want to see that don't be weak and don't be pathetic in how you deal with issues. If you know there is an issue there, it's not about whether you're going to get the Muslim vote in some of these communities to ensure that you're in government. It's about doing the right thing right across the board, what's fair and just, right across the board for all Australians.
You've heard this before. I was wondering, so is that where you've heard this, Dilemmas? You've heard like people saying stuff like this before, like what she's saying here is, oh, they don't want to say anything to offend Muslim voters. That's why they won't talk about they won't use certain language. Is because you've heard her say that? Or maybe you've heard other people say that. That's what this is about. Well, fuck, I've missed heaps in the chat. There's so many points of failure which allowed this to happen. You can argue that Howard failed by allowing guns to be owned by non-citizens, the dad, but realistically that isn't his fault. Continued. It just means we need to continue to update law as required. Yes, there must have been some intelligence chatter, and there was a turf war clash between pro-Palestine and pro-Israel protesters on Bondi Beach a few months ago. Yeah, blame peaceful protesters. Exactly, Dilemmas. But with people stupid enough to vote them in every time, we'll only vote one nation next. So no hope there. We need real politicians, real options. A lot of people have been thinking that for a long time. Okay, but like she's saying it outright. Here it is.
The Muslim vote in some of these communities to ensure that you're in government is about doing the right thing right across the board, what's fair and just, right across the board for all Australians.
How do you disallow that hate and that extremism?
You pull them up. I would have them rounded up.
Round it up,
and you would be charged over your hate speech. It should not be allowed on our streets. And, you know, the way after October the 7th, how they just went out there and celebrated, and it was the best thing that they've ever heard about. That should not have been allowed. They should have been actually questioned over that to have that said. So I think that, you know, there's a lot of things that can be done.
Look at the guy with the Make America Great hat in the background. This is an interesting coming together of types, isn't it? Very interesting community. Look at this Jewish man shaking hands with Make America Great Again hat man. 47th hat as well. Eh? Interesting. Nice wording there, mate. Yes, One Nation, the Freedom Party. KK, Pauline being mad at hate speech is fucking hilarious. That is actually pretty funny, isn't it? I never thought about that. Holy crap. What an interesting insight that is, eh? So much for Pauline Free Speech Hansen. Man, that is fucking hilarious. Never thought about that. Pauline being mad at hate speech is fucking hilarious.
Done to change it. And I also look at the people that we bring into the country. Certain countries, they should not be allowed to migrate here.
What, they shouldn't be allowed to come from Italy and India? Is that what we're saying here? Like, is that what we're saying? We've got someone who was Italian Indian, and we don't want to let Italians and Indians into the country anymore. This is some interesting stuff. She doesn't look as good as her cartoon character. Yeah, she doesn't have the little black dress on. Eh? Showing some shoulder. It's not the same, is it? Yeah, Rounded Up sounds good. Good on you, One Nation liars. So lucky not one of your voters is intelligent enough to see what policies and changes you actually vote for and against in Parliament. I think that's the important point there, is the voting track record isn't that great, is it? It doesn't stick up with a lot of the rhetoric.
I'd like to see Australian citizenship extended out to 10 years before you can get your citizenship in this country. So that if they are these people that are not fit for this country, then, sorry, you don't get your citizenship.
Didn't he come in the 90s, though? The father was here. It's like since the 90s or something like that. You know, and last time I checked, that was like, what, 30 years ago? And then, like, the son, again, was born here. Like, what are we talking about here?
Do you feel here and elsewhere the momentum for you two, this new team?
That's up to the people to decide.
But do you feel it? Surely you feel it here.
I feel a lot of support from the public. Wherever I go in the country, there's always strong support. I think people see me as a person that's not fear to speak up and speak my mind and stand up and fight for the Australian people. I don't cower into a corner. I call it out the way that it is. And a lot of people say to me, at least she's got the guts to say what we're thinking. And that's what I say to people. And that's what's about. I chose to become a Member of Parliament with the blessing of the people of Queensland who voted for me. It's me up to now. I've seen people and heard, and even my grandfather fought at Gallipoli. These people put their lives on the line to protect and give us our democracy and our freedom of speech that we actually have in Australia. And you know what? I don't put my life on the line, but my job is to ensure that it's not forgotten.
Stop the discriminatory language of Jews. So let's be discriminatory against migrants, immigrants, and Muslims. Oh, man. It's funny. All this is true on One Nation. But like I've said before, what am I going to do? Vote Labor or Libs? Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. No, correct. If you crawl out of the mud, white powder. Did you mean to say powder there?
On the floor of Parliament, and I have to continue that fight. They lost their lives and made sacrifices for us, for Australia.
Thank you, Pauline. Thank you. So there we have it, Pauline and Barnaby now leaving the memorial. People wanting to shake their hands. A man just said, I love you. Yeah, various people wanting to share their stories as well, Michael, because obviously, as you know, so many people in this crowd have personal stories related to Sunday night.
Man. Wow. I'll take some cocaine. Yeah, white powder. Yeah. Sorry you don't just get citizenships for spending an amount of time here. My partner and I met in high school first. They've been here for nearly 20 years and still is struggling to get her PR. Wow, 20 years. Jesus. That's a long road. My God. Well, 10 years. 10 years. And watch out all you Italians out there and you Indians out there. Eh? Accordingly, they're first on the chopping block Sorry. Did I say accordingly? Yeah. Apparently, I should say. Apparently, they're first on the chopping block. When we had the White Australia policy, we had the lowest crime rate in the world. Eh? Let's go back to the 50s. All right. What a wonderful time that was. We didn't have social media either. All right, where were we last time? Under the bus. That's where we're at. Alphanese. Back to the Future. Pauline Hanson, please explain. Are we just going to pick up from where we left off last time? Let's people actually have some preferences there. Are Italians white? Yeah, it depends what age you come from, right? Maybe 150 years ago they wouldn't have been white, but they are now. Hey, Italians. Hey, it's an interesting point. It's an interesting point. Hey, take that, culture wars. How are you going to do this now? Hey? Biggest group of immigrants is English. So look at British. 20 years, LOL. Not 10 years. Are you serious? The biggest group of immigrants is English? That's crazy. I know a lot of people that have been here for 10 plus years and the same story. It's not uncommon. Yeah. Also, all of them are from countries in the global south. Australia didn't view Indigenous Australians as people during the White Australian policy, so deaths were often disregarded if their skin color was a different pigment to white. There you go. So there's probably a lot of... They didn't have the same record system either. That's probably why crime was so low, right? No way. That's crazy. That's a crazy... Yeah, fucking British people. Get out of here. Italians assimilated into the community. Indians don't, you fool. Are you sure? Eh? Italians assimilated into the community. I remember watching the World Cup. When was it? When was Australia actually doing well in the World Cup and got to the final stages? I want to say 2006. I remember watching that and having Italian friends who were born here, and they were all wearing their Italian jerseys, and they were like, fuck Australia. Italy all the way. So much for integration. Eh? Then Chinese, then Indian. They're all British are moving to Australia. You should check out the latest Channel 5 piece on the all-white community in Arkansas. Interesting mixture of culture wars and identity politics and communal living. Okay, yeah, I'd like to check that out. I think I've seen somebody else talk about that, not Channel 5. Somebody else did a piece on the all-white community. I didn't realize it was in Arkansas, though. I said it right this time, right? I hope I said it right. I think I called it Arkansas last time, and you had to correct me. I've heard stories of entire communities being wiped out, and even... Yeah, you said it correctly. Yes! There it is. I finally got it. I've heard stories of entire communities being wiped out, even up until the 80s. It's wild how easily we forget how racist Australia was. Well, apparently it's not a crime statistic, apparently. So the story goes, people who say Indians don't assimilate or get Australians are just showing how little they actually talk to Indian people. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, some black right-wingers went there and tried to ask about joining. How did that go down? Then there's the massacre in SA, that white fellas are hung for killing Aboriginals, but you don't get told that often. It was all white men bad. What's this? There's the massacres in SA that white fellas were hung for killing Aboriginals. But I don't know about this story. You might have to tell us more there. I was in Byron for that game. Lots of cheeky banter on the street. Yeah, I'm sure there was. All right, look, I'm going to scroll a little bit forward, if you don't mind. No, I do want to say I've watched all of them. I want to go to the Christmas special. Woke Cinema. Ooh, Woke Cinema might be funny. Economy in the Toilet. Yeah, let's go for... I'm going to go to episode 27.
No, Lydia, no, you can't leave us.
I think we saw this one. Okay, yeah. All right. Economy in the toilet. Let's have a look. Let's look at this one.
No, Lydia, no, you can't leave us. Please, Lydia, I can't do it without you. No, I'm done, Adam. I'm an independent woman now. Oh, Lydia. Has anyone seen Jim? Jim Chalmers. I need to find him. Oh, we've got to do a presentation on the economy in 10 minutes. I need to find him. Oh, there you are, Jim. Albo, don't be mad. Promise me you won't be mad. Oh, what's going on, Jim? It's the economy. It's in the toilet. What? Oh, Jim, how did it get in there? Oh, it was like this when I got here. Oh, ScoMo and Frydenberg must have put it in there. Well, how do we get it out? I don't know. Well, what if we throw...
I was wondering where they were going with this. Oh my god. Mile Creek Massacre. Okay. I'll have to have a look into it. So I don't know the reference.
money at it?
Money at it.
It's not working. It's sinking further. What if we lift it out, Jim? I don't want to get my hands dirty. Yeah, me neither. We've got to do something, and fast. All right, hear me out. I've got an idea. I'm going to need a camera, a green screen, and a giant wrecking ball.
Elbow, you're supposed to be presenting the economy with Jim.
So dumb, but that it made me laugh. Yeah, it's almost toilet humor. Almost. Right.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure he'll be here any second. All right, okay, Jim's here. All right, here we go. Hey, it's me, Dr. Jim Chalmers. I want to talk about my new invention, Capitalism 2. That's right, Capitalism 2 is just like Capitalism 1, but with extra government, a gooey altruistic...
There's a communist beaker there, eh? It's so good. Labour, the dirty commies. Look at that. Hammer and sickle. Who would have thought from a Labour Party that they'd be interested in working class stuff?
Centre, and just a dash of communism. Oops, Capitalism 2 is the solution to a complex decade-long problem that I managed to solve over the Christmas break. Businesses in Australia are broken, but all they need is a little bit of red tape. And we all know when the government gets involved, things get done right, on time, and on budget. Oh, and we're going to renovate the Reserve Bank. What does that mean? Don't worry about it.
Jim, you were supposed to show us the economy. Where is it?
Oh, don't worry, miss. It's in our capable hands.
It's in the toilet, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, for goodness sake. Let's get it out then. Come on.
See, Pauline's going to do it. She's going to get in there, get her hands dirty. She's got the plunger out. She's going to fix the economy from the Senate. Dun, 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 dun. Still, the music's so good.
All right, we're rolling.
This one is woke cinema. There's been a bit of the woke stuff going on recently, hasn't there? All right, let's do this.
Action! Oh no, it's Ned Kelly from the Kelly Gang, here to rob the bank. Yeah, that's right. Stick 'em up. No, cut. Adam.
Who were the obstructors of the NBN and who voted to buy the copper network from Ruddy? Hey? It's a good question. Why do we have a shitty or haphazard NBN network? Apparently, though, they're spending money on fixing that. Apparently, they're upgrading it. So, strap yourselves in. We'll see. Go woke or go broke. Dun, dun. It's a pretty good line. Like, I'm telling you, if you want to do politics, you want to do a political movement, you must have good slogans. And the right wing just kills slogans in the 21st century. Go woke, go broke. Eh?
I'm the director. Only I get to say cut. What do you think you guys are doing here, huh? We're making a short film about Ned Kelly for our history project. No. This won't do it all. Claudia, get me casting on the line now. Casting? What's the problem? The problem is you've cast a white person as Ned Kelly. Well, I thought Ned Kelly white-eyed. Yeah, it's bad. I'm down on set. I'm going to need a POC. Here's stat. And action. Oh no, it's Jetta Kelly from the Kelly mob, here to rob the bank. Yeah, that's right, I'm Jetta Kelly, stick 'em up. Cut! Adam, what's the problem now? This whole thing is problematic. We need a woman to play Ned. No, a trans woman. Yes, that's perfect.
Is this like actually related to something? Was there some type of adaptation of Ned Kelly or something that they're complaining about, or like some form of Australian history that they're complaining about? Some of you might not be old enough to remember, but there was a time when movies were more than just about another method for lefties to ram their political propaganda down your throat. These days, art and entertainment have been relegated to minor roles, with progressive politics playing the starring roles in every film. So it might not be actually related to something, right? What's your background? Oh, for fuck's sake. Pissing me right off. Yeah, I know, right? Are you asking me what my background is? Jesus. That correction. I know, right? So, but they mustn't be talking about something specific. I think they're just trying to be as ludicrous as possible to make a point.
Cut, let's lose the horse. That's animal cruelty. Kelly's too able-bodied. Can we get a wheelchair in here? Nah, I don't like this helmet. No. How about a burqa? Muslim Aboriginal. That's double diversity points. Adam, you're ruining my script. Ned Kelly was a historical figure. You can't just come through and rewrite history. Actually, I can. This is Bruce Pascoe. He's the new screenwriter. We're gonna tell the true story of how the Aboriginals landed on the moon. All I wanted to do was make a cool movie about Ned Kelly, but you guys have just come in here and you've mucked it all up. How have we mucked it up? By making it so diverse that it's uncriticisable? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realise you hated adulation and awards, Albo. Since when did making a good movie mean more about hitting diversity points than telling a good story? But if we don't have gratuitous diversity...
Are they defending Albo here against... He's trying to fight against wokeism? Am I missing something? Then there's the first confrontation between British and Indigenous in Botany Bay. First massacre on Sydney shores. Need more Indigenous smoking ceremonies to help heal the past. Clear negative energy. I love the go woke or go broke logic. It's the classic correlation versus causation stuff. They conflate the fact that ID poll is around now. That lowest common denominator is crap. It's crap because it's crap. Bruce Pascoe is the guy who wrote Black Emu. Okay, all right, fair enough. Thank you, Farias.
Diversity and a woke agenda. How else are we going to get unlimited funding? Unlimited funding? Well, why'd you say so? Action!
You mean the military complex taking over Hollywood? Yeah. Oh, I remember his heritage was questioned by Hanson, etc. No, Boone, trying to work out where his anger stems from. The lowest common denominator I'm referring to is media and films. All right, let's keep going, shall we? Oh yes, this is the one I wanted to watch. This is the Christmas one. Let's get into the Christmas spirit, ladies and gentlemen. The Christmas special. Let's see how this ages after a year. When was this first done though? Oh, it's 22nd of December, 2023. Hey, so it's 2 years old now. Almost 2 years old. We're so close. All right, let's get into that Christmas vibe.
Nighty night, everybody. Merry Christmas. And good night, my little toys. Pocock, Lammy, and Lydia Thorpe. No. And good night, Elf on the Shelf. I'm not an elf. Shut up, David Littleproud. Only one more sleep until I get to open up all my presents. Because I'm a good little boy. Albo, wake up, wake up. Albo? Yes, it's me, Albo.
Haven't they already done an Albo comes back from the future to save Albo in the present kind of one?
From the future. What? When? 10, 20 years? No, tomorrow morning. Something terrible has happened. Oh, what? Natural disaster? War?
Those woke movies that went broke because they were extremely cheesy with bad writing. Yeah, well, it happens. They're shit. They're shit movies. That's why they crashed. That's the 4AS argument. Hey.
Leadership spill? Did Penny knife me on Christmas Day? Nope, it's even worse. In about 8 hours, you're gonna wake up to find.
Dude, the traveling in a Telstra phone box is aces. How funny is that? That is fucking hilarious, actually. They're just crap movies, full stop. Yeah, no. Traveling in a Telstra phone box.
You didn't get any presents. No presents? Why? Obviously you weren't a very good boy this year. Now come on, we need to go back in time, right our wrongs, and make sure we get our presents. Oh, but I thought we pretty much had a perfect year. I can't think of any mistakes. Oh, I can think of one. Let's go. And on behalf of the Labor Party, I support the Uluru Statement from the Heart in full. Don't do it! It's a mistake! No! I promised the Aboriginal people. That's not important. Listen to me. We didn't get any Christmas presents. Ah! Alright, I'll drop it. Good boy. That should do it. Now come on, guys. Let's go get our presents. No presents? This can't be. Oh, well, what do we do now? Oh, well, we must have made some other mistakes this year. Come on, think. Okay. I guess.
I was really hoping this would be a more clever episode than this, but they're just going to go through all his mistakes of the year. Damn. I wanted to know why Albo didn't get Christmas presents. This Christmas special sucks.
Labor will bring down power bills by $250. Well, Chris Bowen, I'm going to make you the Minister for the High Court. Oh, we just let all the detainees out then. You know what we need? More migrants. Alright, that should do it. God, no! Still no presents! Oh, no! What the hell? We must have missed something. We must have made another boo-boo somewhere. No, fellas. There's only one thing left to do. Excuse me. Hi, Santa.
Elbows, one at a time.
Santa, why didn't we get any presents this year? Did you put us on the naughty list?
Yes?
Could you check it again?
No! Listen, mate, me power bill's gone up. All me raw materials have gone up. Me landlord's trying to jack the rent up for the workshop. He reckons he could have a new bloke in here tomorrow. All me elves are on strike for higher wages. They're struggling to make ends meet, and so am I. My car declined at Woolies yesterday. And then you go and chuck another 600,000 migrants into Australia for me to sort prezzies out for? Yeah, you're on the bloody naughty list, Albo.
Oh, come on, Santa, but you're a good Labor voter. You're a tradie. You're rusted on. You bleed red, remember?
Just go. Leave Santa alone.
There it is. Albo is responsible for all of the problems in the North Pole. Increased power bills, increased material supply costs. Oh my God. It all makes sense now. The problem with Hollywood is a problem that it is widespread. It's like an in-group getting jobs because of who you know. The culture in those circles are just as shallow as most corporate companies. Yeah, and it's run by, you know, the PMC, the professional managerial class, and they have their liberal values. And I use that in the true sense of the term, like liberal values, not like liberal as in Australian Liberal Party, but liberal values. They're bougie. They're bougie. They're bougie values, and they get into their own form of the culture wars. And they think that this is hip and this is cool and this is progressive and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, that's the result. They make shit content. They make shitty content because it's a bunch of managerial types, okay? Coming up with ideas. Projecting. Not making art. I love how Santa reads The Australian. Yeah, I know, right? Fucking hell. In a time of identity politics, Albo, incompetent loser, Greens, weak sooks, Pauline, practical. This is peak Aussie propaganda. Can't wait till Hanson is leader of Australia. We can all go without presents and extra pencils. Limit of $3 per child. Indentured servitude. Have you seen the stuff on TikTok where like people were calling for Pauline to be PM, and there's like a political commentator, I guess, who's got a big fucking beard, and he's just like, do these people not realize that she's in the Senate? She could never be PM. Like, it just doesn't work like that. You can't ask her for her to be PM. It doesn't work like that. It's fucking hilarious. Statistics show people on the left have low IQ. Oh, wait, can you source that for us, Boone? I would love your stats. I would love your stats. I would love to know where you get your propaganda from. Eh? Any lefties in this stream, watch out. You might not realize, but you got a pretty low IQ. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'd say left and right have similar IQ. You're all stupid enough to see politics as a sports game.
Oh, sheesh. You know what, Elbows? He's right. We don't deserve presents this year. Unless... the Labor Party. I could see myself going into politics one day. Sign me up! Oh, yes! Presents! Look at this! One Nation merch! Funny drawings of all the politicians! Good thing I'm not one of those, eh? Oh, cool! There's calendars and stubby holders.
Oh my god, you're just
T-shirts!
pushing merch. It's so bad. It's like when they push their rum. Most people who want Pauline to be PM never paid attention to year 4 and 5 SOSE class. Picked your team, now they can't be criticized. There were several massacres after the confrontation in 1770 on Sydney shores, known as the Sydney Wars between 1788 and 1870. With most job searching advice I see, there is a major emphasis on networking with people in the industries that you want to get into. Capitalists and the right like to say the best person for the job should get it, but in reality, the circle jerk networking environment, 100%. Hey, jerk circle, LOL. Yes, say it like a Fox News presenter. Hey, jerk circle. That's capitalism, especially the higher up you go as well. That's the market economy right there. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And they say we don't live in a class system, right? Right? Pauline doesn't have to be PM. The party just needs to slowly tip the balance of power, but we should elect our Governor General. Jesus. The self-promotion? Bro, flogging your merch. It's fucking heavy, isn't it? Oh, fuck. He says next, it's from CNN. Yep, it's who you know, not what you know. Yep, and that's a symbol of a class society, ladies and gentlemen. Never forget that.
Oh, and bottles of gin, and rum, and playing cards. Oh, that's so cool. And it all supports the cartoon series. That's awesome. What a great cause.
Oh, stop. All right, on to the next one. Piece of propaganda. Yeah, sorry, not an expert in jerking in circles. My bad. The grifting of merch is amazing. It is.
All right, Elbow, why don't you come up here and explain what net zero means?
Yep. Oh, I'd love to, Miss Senator Hanson.
Up the front, Elbow. Come on.
Yeah, well,
She said elbow, didn't she? That wasn't Albo. I swear she did. Mitchells. Hello, fellow straight white males. Please look at One Nation voting track record in Parliament before wasting a vote there. Don't say that part out loud. It upsets people.
Well, you see, looks like there's not enough time. Oh, well. Come on, everyone. It's time to head to recess. More like time we head into recession.
Good one, Bob.
Huh? I don't get it. Elbow, he's right. We're in big trouble. We're going into recession and it's all our fault. Jim, put me down. It's not our fault, Jim. It's never our fault. It's that pesky Morrison. He handed over a broken economy. You know, they always do this to us, the Libs. They hand over the economy just as it's about to crash. You're right. They've done it for decades. We need to blame them. Yeah, well, that's what we'll tell the people anyway. They always buy it. The people aren't buying anything at the moment. Look at this. Consumer spending's completely stopped. Well, if we can't deny it, Jim, we're just going to have to cover it up. That's what Rudd did. We'll just flood the country with immigrants to artificially fluff up the economy. There's not enough time, Al.
Is this, like, I have heard this so many times at, like, March for Australia rallies, the Put Australia First one. that the intention of bringing in migrants is to warp GDP. Has anyone got some type of like evidence for that? Like, have they read an article? Has someone produced some type of report that shows that if you bring in 600,000 migrants or whatever the magical figure is, then that boosts GDP, and then governments are able to be like, hey, look, GDP is doing fine because migration causes a rise in gross domestic product? Like, where's that one come from? I've heard it quite a lot. I had people, when I was interviewing them and speaking to them, saying that when you hear people talking about it as well, that they're bringing migrants in, one, because they're good for GDP, and two, because migrants always vote for Labor or something like that. I wonder where where they get this idea from. It must be from something. Maybe it's just a Sky News talking point, maybe, I don't know. If it just supports the cartoon series, I kind of want that Pauline gin now. I need to know what racism tastes like. My God. If only Hanson would go to Antarctica, like the flat earthers, they can show her that we indeed are experiencing large changes. Tired of her willful ignorance. The under-16s ban is going to wreck Alberta now. The next generation getting their news from the mainstream media and voting for or against the person that banned them. LOL, tell me you don't understand Keynesianism without doing so. I think it's because it increases the demand for more products to be consumed. And so they come and they spend. Is that what it is? Like when you bring new people in, they spend in the economy, or they drive up like demand for goods and services and stuff. Maybe that's what it is. How is it ScoMo's fault? He just enjoys some mahi-mahi tacos and tropical drinks. Yeah, how's that ScoMo's fault? God, I hope I said that right. I've seen the voting record of One Nation. I see what my country looks like now with the uni party in complete control, the lesser of two evils. Wouldn't the pay to play university system also be contributing to incoming people? University isn't for life. Yeah. Isn't for life. So they also leave. Well, apparently they don't. People have been saying they scam the system and stuff like that, and they jump from degree to degree just to stay here for longer. Yeah, each migrant is likely on average to earn a wage which allows them to estimate a small increase to GDP per person. So it's not actually some study has been done. People are just like, oh, on the aggregate, if you bring somebody in, they'll spend money. And so you bring them in, that makes the economy look good. So it's just like speculation. It's not like somebody's done some type of comprehensive report or something and demonstrated that governments brought people in to warp or to make the GDP look good. It's just like a speculation kind of thing. Because GDP goes up is the only important metric. How libertarian of you. High immigration, of course, gives high GDP. There's more people spending, you retard. Just go to prove. Those on the left have a low IQ. Thank you for explaining that one to this simpleton. Boone, you're on fire. What opposition? Lay agrees with Labor on everything. That's literally the opposite of opposition. A lot of them are just scared and uneducated or told propaganda BS by their peers. If we demystify politics and expose what each party and politician actually does, we could actually work together. The anti-immigration rally is mostly composed of retirees complaining about international students from China and India. I remember when I went to the first March for Australia, I think it was Jungle Potatoes. I was interviewing all these people, and Jungle Potatoes, like towards the end, was like, can you actually find a young person to speak to, please? And I was like, oh yeah. And I really had to go searching. I think the second one I went to, there was a lot more young people. The first one, you're right, there was a lot of retirees hanging out. Like Pocock taking that 800,000 K from the climate lobby. Only corporate greed wants cheap labor. That's who bringing in the people. Are the Nationals the opposition majority now, not the Liberals? But yeah, Liberals are on the same page with migration. Not sure about nationals. That's an interesting point, isn't it? About migration policy. Interesting. All right, back to it.
Bo, it's the end of the financial year. There's only one way we're going to magically fix this overnight. Yes, with sound economic principles. What? No, Jim. With an end of...
Apparently there are studies on this subject. I'm going to do some reading. Thank you. Higher immigration equals higher GDP. Basic economics. Thank you, Professor of Economics. What university did you study at? Hey, this is apparently basic economics. Interesting. I would like now a lecture on modern monetary theory, if you don't mind, and then followed up with some Keynesian economic theory too. If you could explain those two things for me in a nutshell, that would be greatly appreciated, Boone. I don't know how we ever lived without you on this stream before. Doesn't GDP go up with Labor and down with LNP consistently? Hey, I don't know. You better back that up with some facts or propaganda that we can have a look at, right? And I had a good time explaining MMT to a colleague at my holiday party last night. Interesting. And how did it go? I really find the MMT stuff fascinating. It's like, if you want to do this capitalism stuff, or you want to do market economy stuff properly, the way that we have society structured and separation of powers between things like, governments or elected governments and the Federal Reserve or reserve banks, all that type of stuff. This would be the way to do it. Interesting. The lefties in that chat have agreed with the outcome of this boom turd. Eh?
Financial year sale! Hey,
Discord. Oh, right. Yeah. In saying that, about your propaganda, let me just send you an invite. If you would like to send your propaganda our way so we can have a look at it, here's an invitation to the Discord. Just be respectful, for God's sakes. They actually ended up agreeing with the idea for the most part. It's interesting, isn't it? Like, it really is interesting. If you take the assumptions to be true on modern monetary theory, right? The basic assumptions, it really does make a lot of sense. It really does. It's actually scary. It's like, well, why didn't they say this before? I've been living a lie.
Anthony Albanese, and here's another Labor Party short-term sugar fix for you. That's right, no long-term vision, no lock-in contracts, everything has to go. Check out these natural resources. They're up for sale and going cheap. We've got Aussie manufacturing flying out the door. Philip Lowe, get him out of here. Looking for some agricultural land? Here, take Tassie. But you better get in quick before China takes the lot. Check out these election promises. Sure, they might be a bit broken, but they're still good. But don't just take my word for it. He's Australia's #1 salesman, Linda Burney. Yeah, good one, Bernie. We're getting rid of everything. Australia Day, gone. Culture, gone. Liquor ban in Alice Springs, gone. So come on down and stimulate our broken economy with Labor's end of financial year sale. But you better act fast because we're nearly completely sold out.
Oh, savage. Savage takedown there. Oh, genius. What was some of the... Oh, yeah, what did they talk about? Manufacturing gone. So recently, I'm not sure if people are across this, who did they step in to save? I think aluminium manufacturing plant in Australia was going to shut down due to high costs of production and high energy costs. And the Australian government has basically given them subsidies to save aluminium manufacturing in Australia. Okay, at least that one was creative. That last sales pitch, or like the way that they do the ad, like a clearance sale, that was hilarious. Funny how bourgeois politics produces bourgeois results. Eh? That's a long-running line in this stream now. It's one of those taglines that we're gonna have to use. Who would have thought? Eh? But yeah, apparently, the federal government has stepped in to try and save aluminium production in the country. So they're getting subsidies. So whenever people talk to you about how wonderful capitalism is and how wonderful the market society or market economy is, and it just produces value. And big government sucks, and you can't do anything with all that regulation, all that red tape. Just remember, it's the government that allows a market to persist, even in, like, you know, with all this idea about free markets and competition and all that sort of stuff. The Australian aluminium industry is not feasible in a world economy, and so the government's had to step in and save them. It's all a myth. It's all a myth that you can have capitalism without government. It's all a myth. And that's why, like, the libertarian ideas sound good in theory, but like in practice, it would definitely appear that a market society cannot exist without the state. It needs the state there to protect it. Just like, you know, they say you need the state there to organize the military and defense of the nation. You need the market there to save industry and to save businesses, especially ones that get too big to fail, right? Didn't car factories ultimately become data centers? I don't know that. Wasn't China took the mighty Holden away? We watched something the other day about dark factories in China. I don't know if you guys were here for that stream. We saw this footage of, dark factories in China. And they call them dark factories because they don't have lights in them. They don't have lights in them because there's no workers. And it's just an entire manufacturing plant where they make, 1,200 vehicles a day or something like that. And they're just producing these things in robotic production lines. And the only humans that are inside the building are like engineers that need to go out systematically and recalibrate machines or fix machines as they break. But there's no humans involved in production. And so, like, you know, you can save things like Holden. Or you can save things like, I don't know, our plastic industry. Our plastic manufacturers shut down. What was it? The aluminium was going to shut down. A lot of steel manufacturing and processing has shut down. And like, you can do all of this stuff, right? The government can step in and save the market. But like, in the face of what China is doing, where they're going to revolutionize the means of producing value, like products, producing commodities, and they're going to do it without any labor input at all. Like, how do you compete in the face of that without a government putting tariffs on or subsidizing an industry, which is exactly what's happening? So it's funny to see this one. Like 2 years ago, she was like making the claim that under the Albanese government, manufacturing's gone. And, you know, manufacturing is shutting down, but they're also subsidizing stuff that they think is crucial to Australia's national interest. For some reason, aluminium gets the save, but like, other industries have shut down. So what puts aluminium above other industries? It's a good thing to investigate, I would say. It's very interesting. How many banks got bailed out in the GFC in 2008 again? Thank you very much. Yeah, I know, right? Fuck it hell. This is all David Graeber here. Debt, the first 5,000 years and the dawn of everything. Yeah, that is disgusting. Dilemma's probably back on the street high as fuck in a month or two. Calls itself Mail Now. Oh, I missed something that you guys are talking about separately. Oh, see the crazy lady that got released on bail in Melbourne after stabbing that other lady? If the government actually persecuted people properly, a lot of our issues would go away. So at least males should be safe to protect themselves from it. If you want me on your show, I'll go to the monetary system, central banks, international trade, and why every country in the world is in debt and who gets the interest on that debt. I would love you on my show. I think that would just be brilliant. I was thinking about starting this one next. You recommend? Ooh. What did I miss? Bro, they still make Skodas, not Holden. It's crazy. What are you starting? What did I miss? Are you starting a new book? Excellent read. Oh, you're starting Debt, the First 5,000 Years. It is a good book. It is a good book. I do appreciate some Graeber. Even though the real anarchists don't like him. I don't know why. All right, let's go. What's this one?
So if you hear
Chicken Little. Pauline Hanson's, please explain. Now, this is going to be culture war-y. Are you ready? We're deep in the culture wars now. A cross-dressing elbow. No, I read that. I was thinking about the dawn of everything. Ah, okay. Dawn of everything is very interesting. It really does explain the creation of the ideas of liberalism that we have today, and how we kind of got here really well, I find.
So if you hear your parents say that they're voting no, just call them Chicken Little.
Sir?
Penny, can't you see I'm trying to brainwash over here? Sorry kids, it's an emergency.
Why was that man dressed like a woman? Why was that woman dressed like a man?
Alright, talk to me, what's going on? Albo, take a look at these numbers. Oh, that looks great! Oh, no, sorry, that's a graph of cost of living. Inflation, interest rates, power bills. Ah, here. This is support for The Voice. Oh, no! I thought this was supposed to be a sure thing! Nope, these selfish people care more about a properly functioning government. Oh, but it's just a race-based advisory panel, and we haven't even told them how to work. Well, apparently they want the details. They think we might screw it up completely. Oh, why aren't they being as stupid as we need them to be? It appears they're just not as dumb as we thought. Hang on, if the Australian people aren't dumb, then how am I the Prime Minister? Good point.
Well, only 30% of them voted for us.
Well, what was the point of bribing the AFL? Bribing the NRL? Bribing Shaq? Jesus, Shaq, this was supposed to be a slam dunk!
Sorry, ma'am.
Well, if bribery won't work, we'll have to use blackmail. Why don't we just tell them that if Australia votes no, the world will think we're racist?
Yeah, we tried that with Wesfarmers. Didn't work.
Well, what are we gonna do? How did the Australian public get so smart?
Seems to me you have a lot of other problems to worry about, rather than holding a referendum for something you could legislate tomorrow.
Hang on, Shaq. How do you have such a good knowledge of Australian politics?
Oh, no reason.
What's on your phone?
Basketball videos.
Give me the
I don't understand the Shaq reference either. Does anyone know? Can anyone explain this? This is so culture war-y, and we're deep in the fucking thick of it today. Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, why are we... Does anyone understand it? Oh, you do? 4S, can you explain, please? He made an appearance with The Voice. Oh, he approved it. Ah, okay. Interesting. But why is he dressed like a woman in this one, though? What's that about?
Fine, Shaq. God, Shaq, you've been watching the Pauline Hanson cartoons, and you're buying the rum that supports the series as well.
God.
Shaq.
What's this one? Captain Planet. So good. So good. Fucking Shaq. Yeah. Sold out, man. It's nothing. They've made it culture warriors possible. That's it. So there is actually no reference there. Just let's put him talking to a bunch of kids dressed as a woman. That'll fucking piss people off. Albo's look is very 1980s Pauline. That's so funny. Hey. Yes, so good. Hey, original Pauline. Hey, Jag, this one's for you, brother. Hey, original Pauline. Or what about Pauline, this style of Pauline? Eh? This is Pauline Pansdown, isn't it? That's the Pauline you want reading to kids in school classrooms, right? Eh? There she is again. Old school Pauline. What's this? Oh, that's right. I forgot she was on Dancing with the Stars, wasn't she? Eh? There's another one for you, Jag. Don't let that one go to waste, brother. Interesting. Shaq was here. He's usually pretty outspoken. Okay. I had to fix my camera. My camera's fucked. It's too hot today. Ah, it's so hot. It's really so hot right now. Oh, man. I'm not going to read that one out. That was too good. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, save. Fucking OBS, bro. Seriously. It's too hot today. Such a shitty camera. Gotta figure this out. Oh well. I have to go with that. Alright. Back to it. Shame it's cloudy as Kia. It's so hot. I'm sure it's hitting 40 degrees today. How much? Oh, you guys are having a separate conversation. There's a debate going on in the stream. It's about money and debt. All right, let's do this. Captain Planet. That's a scorcher. It is a scorcher today. And like, you know, it's getting fucking hot in this room as well. My God. Lappy's struggling.
What do you think you're doing, coal man? Me? Well, I'm just providing people with a reliable source of power. Not anymore, you're not. We're shutting this down. You've left us with no choice. Come on, Greenies. This is a climate emergency. Green activism, diversity,
Yes, so good.
white guilt,
It's Greta.
activism. Greenies, this is a climate emergency.
Greta. This is the WA senator, is it? I don't know who these guys are. Those Pauline pics aren't making it better. Yeah. That's why my computer's having a meltdown at the moment.
Green activism,
Activism.
diversity, sanctimony,
Sanctimony. Oh my God.
white guilt.
With your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
Wow, they even called it Captain Planet as well. No copyright issues there.
Captain Planet, shut down this coal-fired power plant right now.
Okay, can do.
Mate, no, don't. Oh, bloody hell. Looks like we got him onto life support just in time.
Oh boy. Adam, perhaps we should consider turning it back on for a little while until we can...
You'll do what I say, slave. Now let's go get some solar panels.
All right, renewable energy. So where in Australia are we making solar panels? China? Why is Australia sending its carbon emissions here?
Well, because that's how everyone gets to net zero, Captain Planet.
But if we're outsourcing the emissions, we're still destroying the environment and the national economy.
Captain Planet, you are starting to sound a little too conservative for my liking. Come on, grab a panel. Let's get these back to Australia.
All right, can do. So how many do we need?
Isn't it beautiful? Solar panels as far as the eye can see.
Wow, I didn't think we'd need this many to power the entire country.
What? No, this is barely enough to power Gundawindi. We're gonna have to clear a lot more forest and farmland to make room for the rest. Quick, The sun is setting. We're gonna need some batteries. Come on, Captain Planet, to the lithium mines in the Congo. We're gonna need some more black child slaves.
Black child slaves?
Yes, of course they're black. It's called being progressive.
You're not being progressive. Everything you've made me do today has been hasty, underthought, and destructive. If you are what progressive looks like these days, then I cannot combine my powers with yours anymore.
Oh, so who are you gonna combine your power?
Finally, a good one. This one is fucking heavy. Picking about the contradictions in the green movement, and savagely as well. The only way to make batteries is to get it from minerals sourced from the Congo through slave labor. A lot of contradictions. The only way to make solar panels, is by, an incredibly environmentally or polluting method. Oh, man. It's interesting.
What's with then?
I'm gonna join a team that's committed to doing good for the world.
And the results are still coming in.
Oh, God, why they got this guy here, Chris Kenny? He's the hero.
One nation seems to have picked up another Senate seat in Queensland with Captain Planet.
Oh, man. Ticking all the racist boxes. Yeah, well, I think they are definitely, playing on the idea that someone like the Greens are happy, or like Greenies generally, let's just say, are happy to push green technologies, but they don't care if they're ethically sourced or not. It is an interesting dilemma to borrow from people's names in the chat. But it is an interesting dilemma. Yeah, because all other forms of energy have no forms of exploitation involved. Yeah. Absolutely. No. All coal, all gas, all fossil fuels generally. There's no exploitation involved at all. Absolutely not. All right.
Oh, hey there, Albo. What have you got there?
Rental crisis. Everyone knows my strong opinions on housing. Let's see how they go with this one.
Oh, hey there, Albo. What have you got there? Oh, this is me pet rat. His name is Chris Bowen. Oh, Babbitt, you scared him off. Now all I've got is this empty shoebox. I guess I better throw it in the bin. Wait, don't do that. That's prime real estate. Prime real estate? 4 walls, a roof. We should put this on the rental market. You putting that on the market? Where can I apply? What are you asking for a week? I'll double it. I'll pay 3 months up front. You see, Albo, there's a rental crisis, and this is hot property. Let's get it on the market. Hi, I'm Ralph Babbitt, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to this extraordinary property now available for lease. Where sophistication and minimalism intertwine, you'll find this charming and meticulously designed 1-bedroom studio apartment. Marvel at the epitome of architectural compactness, luxurious and intimate, the ultimate in minimalist living. Enjoy ocean views or city views. And a removable roof provides an abundance of natural light. All right, let's open the bidding at $1,200 a week with 2 months rent in advance. $1,250 a week, 4 months up front. $2,000 a week, 12 months up front. And leased to the man in the big hat.
Elbow, why is Bowen out of his box? What's going on in here?
Well, we're having an auction for a rental property. We're just enjoying the fruits of the rental crisis, miss.
This is disgusting, Elbow.
Hey, come on now, miss. How's it my fault?
This is what happens when you have record high demand.
That's $3,000 a month in Manhattan. Terrible impersonating, yeah.
In a critically undersupplied market, and that's a direct.
All right, let's see how she explains it. This is the South Park model. Like they just highlight how ridiculous everything is. They show a few sides of a story, blah blah blah, and then usually, like back in the day anyway, the South Park boys would come in and they'd be like, "No, I've learned something today," and so now we're gonna get Pauline's take on the rental crisis. Let's go.
An auction for a rental property. We're just enjoying the fruits of the rental crisis, miss.
This is disgusting, Elbow.
Hey, come on now, miss. How's it my fault?
Babbitt is far more woke than that.
This is what happens when you have record high demand in a critically undersupplied market. And that's a direct result of your obsession with red tape, environmental levies, taxes, immigration, foreign ownership, and your refusal to support Australian-made buildings.
I don't think supply is really the problem here. Remember, this is a trigger word for greedy developers. Okay. Twitch didn't like WOG.
Building materials.
Really? You got moderated. Let me have a look here. Thank God for the mods, hey? Didn't like the word WOG. Yeah, well, I guess it depends how you use it, right? In what context. Boone, what do we... Oh, wait, you guys are having a separate conversation. All right, let's do this. I want to hear. But like, look, supply, remember this, okay? If you're ever listening to people talk about the housing crisis and all that, supply is a dog whistle. When they say supply, we need more supply, that is a bunch of developers and people in construction who have mates that are politicians, and they say, just say the word supply, we've got constrained supply, and like cut government regulations, cut down building codes, cut down planning measures to allow us to put in more supply. And that just means give us a license to build whatever the fuck we like, whenever the fuck we like, and whatever intensity we like. It just allows them to produce more shit. And so when they produce more shit, that doesn't mean that it's actually going to relieve housing pressure in areas or in demographics or in geographies where it's actually needed. It just allows them to build more stuff. And then usually that means like people with the means, so like investors, will go out and buy up that shit. It doesn't actually translate to real gains in terms of affordability or in terms of giving people more access to the market. It doesn't really translate, because if it did, it would have had an effect by now already. Supply, using the word supply or constrained supply and all that sort of stuff, is, I think, a trigger word that people in construction, like developers, want everyone to think about supply, because that justifies them being able to build whatever they want, whenever they want, wherever they want, despite the consequences. They can justify a lot of stuff that way. They can justify their profit margins, really. This is what happens when you vote favors market-based solutions or addressing demand-side issues instead of supply-side public builds. Yeah, I'm a big advocate for that. Like, the market has failed, so let's find an alternative to the market failure. And the capitalism, you know, it, like, the market system works best when there is actual competition. It works best, okay? Just hear me out. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm saying it does actually work best when there is competition. Now, if the market isn't a competitive environment and the developers are colluding, like the top developers are colluding to, you know, write the story on how the market should respond to things. Like, you got to inject some competition back in there, and you can inject competition by government supplying housing as well. It keeps the bastards honest. It keeps the people that are in the housing market, it gives them a standard to compete with. Because they, you know, people have an option then. They're like, oh, well, fuck it, I'm going to go to public housing then. I can't deal with trying to find housing on the market. Oh, sorry. This is what happens when your vote favors market-based solutions or addressing demand-side issues instead of supply-side public housing. The biggest problem with renewable infrastructure is capitalism. Big companies linked to fossil fuel companies that charge exorbitant prices on green labeling so they can further increase their profits. At this point, only socialism can relieve the housing crisis. Yeah, well, look, I wouldn't even go that far, right? Like, of course, it is a solution to the entire system, the entire range of systematic issues that we see. But, like, you know, you could just get government to assist. Like, that infrastructure or that ability is in the current system. You could just get the government to provide that. That's what we used to do. Like, in Australia anyway, I don't know, I can't speak for you in America, David, but like in Australia, like there was so many public housing projects like around around the post World War II era. It was heaps and heaps of public housing. They just built it. They built as much as they could to support people. And then the neoliberal policy came along and they started converting all of that into private property and then deciding that the market was the best way to do things. But like, they've done this stuff already. It's tried, it's tested, it works. And they had the market too. They had both those things running concurrently, and people were able to get housing. They were able to then build wealth and then enter the market if they wanted to, instead of just like starting from scratch with fucking nothing and then being sapped completely and never being able to build wealth to then enter the housing market. But I hear you, David. I hear you. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Former Green here. Vote Libertarian, says Black Eye 808. You know, it's funny that you say that. I would like to know what your thoughts are on libertarians. Libertarianism, I guess, in Australia. I was voting, I think in the local elections, I want to say earlier this year, and there was a libertarian person there, and like they were handing out flyers, so maybe they just paid people to hand out flyers and they weren't actually from the party. But I was like, oh, what are your like policies and stuff like that? What do you think about libertarianism, like in terms of, you know, how much involvement the government should have, all that sort of stuff? And she refused to talk to me. She was like, look, I don't have to answer your questions. You're not allowed to ask me about politics. I'm like, I'm not asking you who you vote for. I want to know what your party's policies are. So Black Eye 808, I'd like to know what the main objectives of the libertarians are in Australia. Indoctrinating government-built housing used to be the standard, and you could only get privately built housing with permits. Yeah. Now we have a gun buyback scheme again. Why the former Black Eye? Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, I'm interested to know what the Australian Libertarian Party like has to offer, because they seem to be all around the place. They were definitely at I thought was interesting, the March for Australia rallies as well, as speakers, special speakers at those events. They had libertarian representatives.
No, this is all happening because of that pesky inflation.
Which you exacerbate with unnecessary spending on stadiums and referendums.
I'm doing that because I care.
You don't care. If you cared about Australians, you wouldn't be allowing over 900,000 more migrants.
I don't know about that. Like, if we take the modern monetary theory view on this one, right, that like if you spend money on referendums, like government spending on referendums, government spending on stadiums, you're actually triggering spending that goes into the economy, because all these people have to be employed to work at the referendums. Like people have to buy things to use for a referendum, which stimulates the economy. In terms of stadium construction, massive costs that go into businesses in the economy. So like government spending actually isn't a cause for inflation. It's actually something that's helped stimulate the economy. So I'm gonna have to knock you back there, Pauline. I don't know if you could say that government spending triggers inflation. Actually, what she's talking about is it might contribute to government debt if they turn to the private debt market to try and get access to that funding, but they also could just put that in their budget and have the money granted to them from the Reserve Bank. Oh my God, Boone, far out. You are just, you're battling all the wrong people here today. Dilemmas, why don't you answer my answer? Why doesn't my answer make sense? You low IQ lefty. Yeah, Dilemmas, you lefty. Dilemmas, LOL, you're barking up the wrong tree, Boone. That's so funny, man. Yeah, Dilemmas, you lefty, you low IQ lefty. That's so good.
Into the country over the next 18 months, adding even more demand for rental properties.
Oh, Miss Senator Hanson, will you stop making sense for once? Fine,
Yeah,
I'll take the
Hanson.
shoebox off the market. Huh? Where'd the shoebox go? Just back it in here, Robbie. Home sweet home.
Low IQ lefty enters the chat. Where I live, local governments and builders are pushing high-density housing, townhouses and condos. It hasn't made housing cheaper at all. Isn't it interesting? Like, the ideal is, like, as Pauline has described there, it's just, hey, supply. Just let them build more and the house prices will come down. Well, they have been doing that, and they've been doing that on steroids in Sydney. Like, people are actually complaining about the build, but then they also want relief to the housing crisis. And you're just like, well, which one is it? You want relief to the housing crisis, but you're sick of seeing all of the construction everywhere. It's destroying, destroying your suburbs. It's destroying your communities. But like, they're building it anyway, and it's still not doing anything. It's not relieving the pressure. Well, what's the go there? It's almost like the supply doesn't really have an effect on that, because when it comes onto the market, it just gets sold at the same market price. It gets rented out at the same market price. You'd have to really like to make supply a viable option in reducing housing affordability. You'd have to literally flood the market, and almost instantaneously. So there is so much choice. It devalues the entire stock. But you'd have to do that on such an enormous scale instead of drip feeding it, that, like, you know, it'd take so much of a coordinated effort. You're basically living in a planned economy anyway. You're basically a bunch of fucking socialists. Wolf, I love how the video tile has right fighting right without them realizing it. Dilemmas is the most leftist one here. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, it's so good. Calling me a lefty is one of the most low IQ things you could have said. Oh, man. Yeah, dilemmas. You low IQ lefty, you.
Here you go, little Timmy. Your grandma's medication.
What's this 60-day dispensing? What's this even about? When someone promises something that is too good to be true, you know it always is. Albanese's new pharmacy rules are just another example of him misleading Aussies and shooting himself in the foot. Once again, poorly thought out policy implemented without proper consolation. Consolation? Maybe consultation. Threatens jobs and well-being. How? You just have to tune in to find out.
Thanks, Doc. Yeah, thanks, Doc.
No, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a humble community pharmacist. Call me Peter.
Well, Peter, for us country folks, you're the closest thing we've got to a doctor.
Just doing my part for the community, ma'am.
Guess what? Good news. I'm making medicines cheaper.
Dilemmas, more like dilemmax, eh? Hey, am I right? Am I right? Hey, yes. I'm sorry. I think you've got a new name on this stream now, Dilemmas. You are now Dilemmax. I knew it would happen eventually. He is a Marxist.
Get ready for 60-day dispensing. Brought to you by Labor.
Hey, you're destroying my pharmacy.
No, I'm not. I'm saving patients $180 a year.
Hey, stop this nonsense.
You got a problem with cheaper medicines, do you, huh?
Oh, of course not. No, I just want to know who's paying for this.
You are. If we allow 60-day scripts, that saves me $1.6 billion over 4 years in dispensing fees.
Oh, but those dispensing fees make up 80% of my revenue. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Well, it might suck for you, Peter, but this is great news for Paul. No one has any sympathy for Big Pharma anyway.
I'm not Big Pharma. I'm Little Pharma. Those big pharmacies might be able to survive, but I won't.
Oh, well, how was I supposed to know that?
You should have just talked to us about it.
But you would have said no. Now, Phil, excuse me. Hey, what are you doing?
Shh, Timmy, no. There's no use.
Well, it looks like my work here is done. Now, before you criticise...
Does anyone know what is being talked about here? Anyone got this reference? This 60-day dispensing thing? Can somebody explain it to me? I don't understand what the fuck is going on here. What the hell's going on here, man? What was the Albanese government's... What was the Albanese government's 60-day dispensing policy for pharmacies. Brief answer, please. Dilemmarks, a mystery wrapped in a hammer and a sickle. The Albanese government's 60-day dispensing policy allowed doctors to prescribe a 60-day supply of certain PBS-listed medicines instead of the usual 30-day supply for people with stable ongoing conditions. This meant patients could fill one prescription for 2 months of medicine, having the number of scripts and reducing their PBS co-payments and GP visits for repeats. The aim was to make medicines cheaper and reduce cost of living pressure on Australians. The policy started in September 2023 and has it phased in over time. It did not automatically apply to all medicines, only eligible PBS medicines, and doctors still decide if a 60-day supply is clinically appropriate. Opposition from pharmacy groups, okay, here it is, I guess. Pharmacy groups focused on concerns that dispensing fees paid per script would drop and impact pharmacy revenues, which later led to negotiate additional payments to pharmacies under the broader community pharmacy agreement. Okay. So if people come less, then they don't get the fees, the dispensing fees. And that's going to destroy the local regional pharmacist. Right. The federal government pays pharmacies via the PBS a dispensing fee, but with fewer scripts, fewer fees to compensate. A large additional community support payment, $2.1 billion over 5 years under the 8 CPA, ensures pharmacies are paid for reduced dispensing fees. AI? Yeah, I asked my AI too. Thanks for clarifying that. Sounds like pharmacies got to charge per script they dispense, which used to be 30 days, so twice as often, twice the income. Yeah. Hey, comrades, we should try communism, but this time we'll do it the right way. Hey, you sound pretty low IQ there, Dilemmarks. Hey? But this time we'll do it the right way. That's hilarious. All right. Back to Albo smashing pharmacies with a fucking cricket bat.
Me about my failing referendum, my dwindling approval ratings, or my complete lack of concern for the cost of living crisis.
It's so funny how badly this has aged on that regard, where they keep on hammering home the fact that he's dwindling in his approval ratings. Didn't age well, did it? Obviously considering, right?
I'd like to announce today that after no consultations with actual pharmacists, 60-day dispensing. Mr. Albanese, is it true that you destroyed this community pharmacy? No, come on, this isn't about that. This is about giving Paul here $180 out of my own pocket. Whoa. I guess it's a good time to be Paul. Now, come on, guys, let's go spread the news to the next community pharmacy.
Why is he doing this?
Oh, Timmy, this is just classic Labor. Another short-sighted policy that makes it look like they're helping, when in reality, they're just making things worse.
I guess it really isn't easy under Albanese.
Ah! I've shot myself in the foot. Paul, where's the nearest hospital? It's 200 kilometres that way. Oh, well, where's the GP? 190 k's that way. Oh, Paul! Have you got any Dettol? What about a Band-Aid? Paul? Please?
Savage. Are you saying that they didn't do it to FHT last time? Jerry Poppins? What are you talking about? It's so obvious though, once us workers seize the means of production, everything will work out just fine. Hey, excuse me. What's wrong with owners seizing the means of production? How dare you? That did communism effectively, if that's what you mean. LOL. Excuse me, seizing the means of production is not a bad thing at all. Amazing. Elbow, didn't you sue for defamation? Suing people is a thing in Australia. There's a lot of people that could be angry with this stuff, and people just stepped away. I think I was watching something They were analyzing this this cartoon series, and they said that what's his name, Robert Irwin? I don't know. I can't remember the son's name, but like he got upset about some of the ways they've depicted him on here, and he threatened to sue. And Pauline Hanson told him to relax, and that sorted it out. Apparently, it's not worth it, man. Consolidating all of that money and power to the government instead of having a separate market seems like a great idea. Let's do it. I'm in too. All right, Walter, is this your investigation of migration and GDP? Is that what we're looking at here? All right, everyone, bottom corner, if you're interested. While looking into the effects on immigration and GDP, they consistently repeat that greater increased workforce of low-wage labor imported into the country keeps wages down, and workers with low wages spend a larger portion of their extra income on goods and services. High marginal propensity to consume, increased GDP as the flow of consumed goods circulate cash flow. Stagnant low middle income means less money circulating in the economy, even GDP as GDP grows overall, suggesting growth isn't broadly shared and demand stays weak as shown. Why wages have stagnated while GDP has grown? The proximate factors. Interesting. So have you read this thing, Voltaire? Geez, Robert, Steve would have sued. Eh? You notice this is where they are trying to spread slogans and propaganda. Didn't work last election, or did it fall upon deaf ears due to it being given no oxygen with lawsuits or public comments? Oh, that's an interesting theory, isn't it? Hey? That's a very interesting theory. Nationalists and socialists unite. We all have the same struggle. Eh? Now we've seen what happens when the nationalists and the socialists unite. Eh? It's interesting. She hit him in the daddy issues. Oh, I'm in the middle of it now. Okay, fair enough. Thanks for sharing that. All right. We're up to 34. We're doing pretty well. We're almost at the end of this season. I'm really proud of all of you. We sat through. Like, we've done well. We've done well. The Big Red Dragon. What's this about? There is a dark secret about Australian politics, a secret that many don't want you to know. Underneath the parliament, from the shadows, a sinister voice wields great power over our nation's politicians. Oh, God, I should have known. Hey, the Big Red Dragon. Some resist vowing to serve Australian people. Others, such as Peking Paul Keating, have fallen and now serve this new master. Oh, man. This episode is not for the faint-hearted, so viewer discretion advised. Today we learn the terrible truth about the Big Red Dragon. Oh my God. Here it comes. Here come the anti-fucking Chinese. Here comes the anti-Chinese propaganda. Here it comes. This will be interesting. I also posted something in the general on macro effects of migration but I'm trying to find out more aspects at the moment. Okay. Thank you. When they try and flood the zone, give it no oxygen and the flame will die out. But when they try to flood the zone. Yeah, it's interesting. So do you reckon they were going for that? That was part of the tactic? And then everyone would be raging on a lawsuit about this and free speech, an attack on one nation. That's interesting. How much do these independent community pharmacists make? Maybe they're the bad guys. It's interesting how they juxtapose that, isn't it? I was thinking about, well, look, we're talking about a system now where people don't have to pay extra fees, and they're making it out like, oh, it's just Peter robbing Paul. As I feel like these pharmacists are making their money off the fees that people have to pay. It's incorporated into the cost of the product. And it's just like, well, why do they have to pay these fees? And why should pharmacists have to live off fees like that? Like dispensing fees. They obviously made it the regional pharmacist trope, not the big pharmacists, like the big chain pharmacists that we have. It's just like the little poor individual, like the small business owner that's going to be really affected by that. But like, why is the business model relying on getting these fees exactly? Which is something that is costing either the individual that's paying the fees, or it's subsidized through, taxpayers, because that's what's happened in the end. They ended up setting up a scheme to reimburse pharmacists for that. Absolutely, it's the tactic. Let them yell and burn out with no one listening. No, I mean, like, sorry, the tactic about like them wanting to get sued potentially, so that would bring more life to their conversation. I wonder if that's a thing. All right, let's see what they have to say about fucking China, hey? Also, yes. Also, yes. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I was thinking about that as well, David. Like, if that's just the model is to charge fees on people who need medicine, and like they're trying to not have people charge fees, like how do you fucking mental gymnastics that one to be like, oh, the poor pharmacist? It's like, but what about the people that don't have to pay the fees now? Isn't that kind of good? That's like a reduce the cost of living. Like, I know you have to pick then between people buying medicine and pharmacists, but like, support people buying medicine, I guess.
Nice work on that submarine deal, Albo.
Oh, thanks, Richo. Nuclear. Good decision.
368 billion well spent.
Thanks, guys. Wow, looks like I've finally done something right for once.
Are you out of your bloody mind? Have you gone bloody troppo or something?
Ex-Prime Minister Paul Keating, what did I do?
Follow me. Move it. Buying those subs is single-handedly the worst decision a Labor government's ever made. And that's bloody saying something.
I don't know. Everyone seems pretty happy about it, Paul.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right now, you've really pissed her off.
Who's she? Miss Senator Hanson?
What? No. She's been pushing for nuclear subs for years. No, you've pissed off the big red dragon.
Ah!
Hey, calm down, you goose. That's
I
not...
love how in the basement of Parliament, there's the big red dragon. Eh? What does that say for the entire system then? Eh? They're all built upon China in the basement. Well, PBS was covering the fees, so government was footing the bill, not the individual. So what are they talking about then? So it's just propaganda. It's just complete, utter propaganda. Not even based in reality. It's just propaganda to scare people. We're like, oh no, we're going to lose our pharmacists. Because like in the comment here, it said that the opposition, which later led to negotiated additional payments to pharmacies under the community pharmacy agreement. So they must have got a subsidy there, or money back from the lost revenue.
How you greet her? You've got to bow down to her. Like this. Bend the knee, mate. Oh, see? I think she likes you.
Oh, well, that's great, Paul. I'm just gonna go now.
What? You can't go. All Prime Ministers after me have had to deal with her, and now it's your turn.
Well, she does seem awfully threatening.
No, she's not a threat. All you gotta do is whatever she wants. Or she'll huff and she'll puff and she'll blow the country up. Won't you, darling?
Come on. Like this is interesting propaganda, this one. When have the Chinese ever threatened to blow anyone up? Like, honestly. But maybe they're just using a bit of like hyperbole there. But like, when have the Chinese threatened to blow anyone up? I know there is a country out there that definitely threatens to blow people up all the fucking time. Oh, there's a couple of them. But like, when has China threatened that? They definitely use economic warfare. Right? They'll definitely sanction people. They've definitely done that to us. They've disciplined Australia through economic warfare, but like blowing us up. That's an interesting one. Yeah, it sounds like Labor came around. At least according to AI. Hey, we don't threaten, we just do it. Yes, so the study linked explained that GDP pretty much increases because of excess profits. And since the 80s, cough, triple down economics, cough, the wage comparisons to wages and profits just greatly separates, right? You're fact-checking a cartoon? Yeah, but it's supposed to be based in some form of reality. So, yes, we are. And proudly so, Ross. Chinese only work hard and save their money. Free trade. Woozle, didn't Prime Minister Scott Morrison sign us up for the nuclear sub deal? Yeah, I thought so. But like there's been various stages. They keep meeting every so many, I don't know, years or months to keep re-signing onto the deal. So maybe that's what. Put your boyfriend on? Oh, God, that hurts. That hurts, Ross. Oh, my God. Have you heard? If it wasn't for America, China would have invaded us already? Yeah. Right. Yes. Yes. Thank God. Oh, no. Problem with AI either just meant I wasn't following at the same time, so just going off your AI. Yeah, right.
Oh, and you got to keep her well fed.
Oh, well, what does she eat?
The usual, iron ore, coal, natural gas, beef, bit of dairy, wine, wool, copper, precious stones.
Paul, that's most of our exports.
Oh, yeah. We're completely economically dependent on her, mate. Yeah, we also outsource all our manufacturing to her.
Oh,
dude, doesn't it? Far Right Fridays brings out the fucking characters. Always brings out the best of the internet. Yeah, we've had some funny claims already. I've been attacked. My pride is taking a hit. I'm gonna have to cry myself to sleep tonight. Can't handle it.
Australian industry.
It's devastating to our economy, but that's a small price to pay for appearing to care about climate change.
Is that a drone?
Oh, yeah, she'll spy on you, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know.
She's
That's
got
the
cameras.
claim of the day. I'm retarded. I'm a retarded gay boy. Savage. I'll never recover. Never recover. Why do you want to see your dad on stream? Yeah. He's not going to get up from the desk below me, so don't ask Dad to come up.
Set up everywhere, she'll go through your phone. You got TikTok?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she knows everything about you now then. Yeah, she loves data. Almost as much as she loves real estate. Come on.
It's so rich when they talk about TikTok and China mining your data when everybody else is completely addicted to every other element of social media is completely covered by US companies. And it's just like, but watch out for TikTok. They just want your data. And so it's like, oh my God, I don't want Xi Jinping to have my data. I'd much prefer the American government to have my data. So much better than that, hey? Dad is dead? Oh, no. Well, maybe you shouldn't make stupid comments in other people's streams. Far out. My heart bleeds for you, Ross. My heart bleeds for you. Managing GDP is a balance of paying the workforce low enough to keep them in the workforce to produce profits. The increased prices on necessities help GDP as it generates more profit. Managing GDP is a balance of paying the workforce low enough to keep them in the workforce to produce profits. The increased prices on necessities help GDP as it generates more profit. GDP growth, despite the physical and mental effects of the high physical and emotional stress. Damn. All right, what a balancing act GDP figuring is, right? And bringing in workforces to depress certain elements of the economy to compensate in other places. Pointing out the way liberals messed up is like Pierce getting Nick to admit he's a racist. He's like, yes, I'm a racist. My God. If you have wages too high, the people might spend too much money. So bringing in migration for low wage labor helps keep wages low enough for increased profits per physical material produced. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about that as well. Like when I was at like said rallies and stuff like that, that people are like, oh, they're just bringing in low wage labor, and like they just want to give, I don't know, foreign workers or migrants, you know, depressed wages, and that keeps the economy going, and it takes jobs off real Australians. It's like we have labor laws, we have minimum wage requirements, unless they're openly saying that there are all these Australian businesses out there that are openly breaking the law and not paying people, you know, what are industry standards for wages and all that sort of stuff. Like, what are they actually? Well, like, where's the relevancy to that? They're like, you bring in migrants as their cheap labor. Like, I could imagine that happening in the US because that is a factor. There's like there's a big market for that. We're like bringing migrants here legally through the system, and they have to, you know, become residents, and then they can transition to citizenship and all that sort of stuff. They must have to work within legal businesses. I don't understand how people make the claim that bringing in, like, you know, 600,000 or bringing in migrants generally means you're just bringing people that, you know, kind of, what would you say? They're working in informal economy, like work in a black economy kind of thing. I haven't understood how that relates or works in Australia. Well, call me a necrophilia, because that pussy was something else. Guess that's why he didn't say as much, even after pulling out of his mic drop. Oh my god. Far out. Spandog spitting fire. So Albo may or may not have agreed to radioactive waste disposal for the US to facilitate the transfer of naval nuclear technology to Australia. Wikipedia. Weak-kneed twazzer. Stew of the art. Minimum wage is not enough with the price of food and rent. Right. Okay. So like that's a problem with the minimum wage requirements then. Assuming every migrant that comes in here works at minimum wage. Dr. Nathan, yes, but there are exceptions for people on student visas to be paid less than an Australian. It's something that's been around since Abbott. Interesting. The only thing I've heard of that is when 7-Eleven and Pizza Hut, I think, I want to say, got busted for paying people much less than minimum wage requirements. Yeah. Isn't it weird how Lucas Heights has a reactor just outside Sydney? But isn't that for scientific purposes? Please Google Albanese report card and read about his bad behavior since getting what? Since getting what? Since getting elected, maybe. Are we talking about his report card from when he was in primary school? See? He was mischievous. I knew it. Less workforce means companies have to offer more to make people give them their labor. The demand provided by more immigration means that there are a lot more people willing to accept lower offers. Yes. Having more people in the labor market helps depress wages because of competition. Got it. But the claim is then that also adds to GDP because there are more people spending in the economy. There are more people buying things, right? It's a nuclear reactor. Elected. Please Google Albanese report card and read about his bad behavior since getting elected. Okay. Like, is that what you want me to type in? Like, literally, like Albanese report card. Is this like some like article or something? Integrity report card? Is that what you want? Here's a fucking AI overview from Google for you. Albanese report card typically refers to an assessment of the Australian Prime Minister and Albanese government, with recent ones focusing on integrity and transparency. No, it's an actual report card by the Centre of Public Integrity. The Albanese government's report card. Okay, first of all, whoops. Centre Public. Yeah, let's go. The Centre for Public Integrity. That's it. Chair of the Centre for the Public Integrity, former New South Wales Court of Appeals judge, senior counsel specialising in anti-corruption, professor at Melbourne Law School, former judge of the Supreme Court, corporate lawyer and governance experts, they're all lawyers, former judge of Western Australia Supreme Court, inaugural ACCC chair, because they're all like lawyers and stuff. And university types. Our independence. The Centre for Public Integrity is a registered research institute funded by generous donations from philanthropic foundations and the public. As a registered charity, all our contributions over $2 are tax deductible. By refusing donations from political parties, unions, religious organizations, or entities whose values do not align with our mission, neither our board members nor experts receive payment for their work. It's through dedication. Major donations. Maya Foundation, Australian Communities Foundation, Minifera. Supporter and small donations. Interesting. Go back to the other one. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Before I read it, I want to know who's funding these people. Centre for Public Integrity. Who funds the Centre for Public Integrity? Oh, man. Keeps doing this today. Who funds? Fuck it. I'll just type it like a pleb. This is an interesting diversion. Where'd you come from? Cree. Have you been on this stream before? So, they've just stolen it from the website. I could have done that. What's the Susan McKinnon Foundation? Can you briefly list what each of these foundations do or what their objectives are? Supports projects and initiatives aimed at improving political leadership, strengthening democratic institutions. Objective to empower better government and stronger Australia by building capable leaders. Australian Communities Foundation. Acts as a community foundation that enables support strategic philanthropic giving. What it does. Manifera, a collective of Australian funders that pools resources to fund civil society organisations advocating for systematic change, to build a fairer democracy and economy by investing in advocacy. Interesting. Okay. Thank God for the philanthropists out there. I'm sure they have no agendas, but we're about to find out. Here's the report card. Albanese government report card, October 28th. 6 months after its re-election, the Albanese government faces serious integrity challenges. This report card from the Centre of Public Integrity assesses the government's actions and inaction across key democratic safeguards. Commitment to transparency, leaning into a culture of secrecy. Cronyism, more jobs for mates, very unusual in Australian politics. There's a few good books on this. Undue influence, failing to rein in the power of lobbyists. Who would have thought? Bourgeois politics. Supporting Parliament and its accountability functions. Cutting support for those who hold government to account. Reducing scrutiny of Indigenous affairs. The government's decision to remove the dedicated day for Indigenous affairs in Senate estimates marks a clear step backwards for transparency. This scrutiny day, established after the abolition of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Commission, has long provided an important accountability mechanism for policies affecting First Nations communities. Bourgeois politics produces bourgeois results. Say it with me, people. I was just answering questions from before when he asked if I had been here before. Okay. Supporting an independent public service. This is a whole nother thing. So let's go. Sorry to rush this, but the Centre for Public Integrity issues a report card in the hope the government will seize opportunity to lead on integrity reform. The solutions to Australia's integrity challenges are well known and achievable, from transparency to accountability. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay. So, like, not happy, eh? They're not doing well. To quote scathing. It's a scathing assessment here, isn't it? Absolutely scathing. Might have to do this separately. But I've never seen this thing before, so thanks for bringing it up. Come on, why don't you cozy up to her? That's what we're up to. Oh yeah, I wanted to see how they depict China.
Everything about you now then. Yeah, she loves data. Almost as much as she loves real estate. Come on, why don't you cozy on up with her?
I don't know if I'm really that comfortable yet, Paul.
You got nothing to worry about. She wouldn't hurt a fly. Unless that fly's in Taiwan or the South China Sea. She's a softie on the inside, I'm telling you.
That's so good.
You wouldn't hurt a fly. Unless that fly's in Taiwan or the South China Sea.
So good. So good. Albanese is complicit and must be held accountable. But for what? For what exactly? Can you be more specific? So it's Wong and Burke. But like, what are they complicit in? That report card seems very, very generic kind of stuff. So like, specifically, if you could just help us out there. Just trying to understand.
She's a softie on the inside, I'm telling you.
Okay.
And why don't you suck on that teat while you're there?
Really?
Yeah, go on. Everyone's doing it. It's feeding time.
We ready to go? You'll love it, Elbow.
A lot of politicians come down here for a little suck. Come on, mate. Let's tuck in.
Okay. It's actually quite nice.
So good. So good. Australian politicians, eh? So that was really loose, though. I thought there was going to be a specific example or something. They were going to say, haha, look, we've got them. This is how they feed off China. Like fucking everyone else in the world, especially in the region. Europe, biggest trading partner. China. The whole of Southeast Asia, biggest trading partner. China. America, biggest trading partner. Mexico. I think then Canada. Then China. Australia. New Zealand. Biggest trading partner? China. Like, what's the point? I think it's just a smear one. I think there was a particular reference that was coming. I'm a bit disappointed there. That one sucked. Gymonomics.
All right, Jim, it's time for you.
Does that mean the next episode is Pauline sucking on Gina's teats? Could you imagine? Give me the dragon teats any day. I don't think we really want to picture that. Ooh, my God. My God.
You to present the budget.
Hello. Now, I've taken this budget very seriously. I've worked very hard, but I'm pleased to say that I will be able to return the budget to balance within 9 years. No, come on, it's possible. All we have to do is reduce spending by $50 billion. We'll rein in the NDIS. We'll fix the Inland Rail project. Labor will be fiscally responsible.
Oh, now that is ridiculous.
And I will get the budget back to surplus.
Hey, now, come on. That's my joke.
No, look, come on. It's all here.
Have you accounted for the voice?
He hasn't accounted for my joke.
No, we'll get the budget back to surplus.
Hey, now, come on.
Who's that? Who's that exactly? Anyone? Oh, it's Wayne Swan. Right.
That's my joke.
No, look, come on. It's all here.
Have you accounted for the voice?
He hasn't accounted for the voice.
I'm glad you all find this funny. You know who won't be laughing? The taxpayer.
Jim, come on. Don't beat yourself up, mate. It was your first budget. Oh, Anthony, I don't want to be a treasurer anymore. Don't say that, Jim. It's just the economy. No, that was amazing. I think I found my calling. I want to be a stand-up comedian. Oh, Jim. So I don't know if you've heard about this housing crisis, you know, not enough houses. How are we going to fix that? Let's bring in 715,000 more immigrants, hey? What do you reckon? That'll fix it? And then we promised to lower power bills. That was a lie. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The bank. We've come to repossess your property because you've defaulted on your mortgage as a result of interest rates being out of control. What do you do for a living, mate? I'm a coal miner. Not for long.
That was great.
Here's an impression for you, right? I'm the Labor Party, and this is the economy. Oh no, it's completely
They're a bit lazy, these last few ones. They're a bit lazy.
We must act now.
About on par with Rogan's special? Yeah. Every now and again, you're like, yeah, I get it. All right.
Enemy is no longer just global warming.
They really
We
hate
must act
Pocock,
now.
don't they?
Our enemy is no
Global
longer just
boiling.
global warming. We are now in the era of global boiling. It's time you all wake up. Hey, wake up!
Pocock. Yeah, thanks for that riveting presentation.
How can you sleep when the climate is changing? The Great Barrier Reef is dying. I'll prove it to you. I'll show you all.
Why don't you sit down, mate? We'll be at the reef soon. Just relax.
How am I supposed to relax when the water is literally boiling?
Boiling? That water is freezing.
No, look, it's boiling. It's bubbling and frothing.
Nah, that's just a bit of spume, mate.
Spew?
Nah, spume. Sea foam. Just tiny particles of organic matter. Algae, fats, proteins, that sort of thing.
No, it's boiling water. The climate as we know it is breaking down, and the impacts are being felt with distressing regularity. We are on the brink of collapse, and... wake up!
It's freezing.
You did it! You found me!
And icebergs near the Great Barrier Reef. Clever.
Who are you?
I'm Harold Holt, Prime Minister of Australia. I thought you guys had stopped looking for me.
Yeah, there was a prime minister for anyone who's internationally. There was a prime minister of ours. I can't remember, I don't know when, like early 20th century, went for a swim, never came back. And so like there's lots of conspiracies out there, mysteries around a leader of the nation who went for a swim, never came back.
Fishy. Hey, how can I breathe underwater?
That's the magic of the Great Barrier Reef. Look at her. Isn't she glorious?
I thought all the coral was destroyed.
Now, why would that be?
Because all the water was boiling and the coral was bleached.
Huh? You been dropped on your head or something?
Yeah.
As a kid?
As an adult.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. But nah, mate, coral bleach is an entirely natural phenomena. If anything, coral loves warm water, actually.
Harold Holt, are you a climate denier?
Look, I've been down here for the last 60 years. I'm not going to tell you the climate hasn't been changing. It has. But down here, we just call that the weather.
I'm so confused.
That would be fucking hilarious if they had one of those. The Harold Holt Swim Centre.
Why would they be telling me all this if it's not true?
You're not sure. My guess is there's some sort of $7 trillion industry that capitalises on this climate issue and therefore has to resort to fear-mongering in order to perpetuate the problem. But what would I...
Wow. Like, honestly, if that's a fair assessment, fine. But, like, you know, it goes both ways, baby. Like, if it's happening to support a $7 trillion industry, it's obviously happening on all sides. And that's what happens under, I'm going to say it, I get to say it once a stream, that's capitalism, baby. So if you want to stand there and say, let's not transition to a new technology, which is what generally happens under capitalism, is you revolutionize the means of production, you change technology, and that's what helps keep the economy going. It's actually beneficial to the economy to invest in new technologies because it circulates capital. It circulates money, it circulates commodities, it ensures commodity production, and that's how capitalism survives. That's how capitalism reproduces itself. And so if you want to stick with old technologies that don't require changes to the productive forces, like how you actually produce value in that society, you get stuck and the entire economy slows down. It slows down. And so like if you think that there is fear-mongering and propaganda that comes out of the transition to green technologies, and you know that's a viable reason to not want to transition and use new technologies, then you know let me just be the first to tell you that there's propaganda in the opposite direction as well from the fossil fuel industry to stay there. And if they're playing both sides of the argument for their own gain, to create profit or to continue to profit off the energy sector, then that's just capitalism, baby. That's just capitalism. And so, you know, if you really want a solution to all of this stuff, then we have to get rid of a system that just wants to make profit off everything. If energy is a serious problem to you and you're worried about the cost of energy and you think it's destroying industry, it's destroying people's homes and their livelihoods, if you really are true and fair income about that, then you need to say to yourself, should we have energy on the market anymore? We should nationalize our own resources and we should nationalize our entire energy sector and have it regulated so that people are put first. And then you can say that businesses should be put after that. But like energy in the 21st century should be a goddamn human right. And so if we need electricity, like if my electricity goes down right now, I would die. I can't even make a cup of tea without boiling the fucking kettle. I don't have the option to go make a fire in the backyard. So like I die without electricity. Electricity is a goddamn human right. So like if you continue to look to the market, and you think, oh yeah, I'll just, you know, we'll just get the market to fix it, and we'll just like start selling, you know, energy on, and like, you know, using our own resources, and like the market will fix that problem. We just got to take that energy for ourselves and continue using these sources of energy and all that sort of stuff. We've got plenty of resources here. Well, it's the capitalism that created this situation in the first place. It has caused this market distortion that is screwing everybody over. Like this is fair enough. If you think that, yes, green technology is a $7 trillion industry and they're flooding the zone with propaganda, then what do you think is happening on the opposite side of that argument? The exact same shit. It's capitalism, baby. It's capitalism. So good. Was waiting for that. Now my day's complete. What? Because I said it. I said, capitalism. Woo, capital. If the environment is changing, we will have to spend money to reverse or treat the effects. Therefore, effects of climate change forces us to spend. Therefore, effects of climate forces us to spend. Investing in new technologies like nuclear, since the Uni Party already allows nuclear waste to be stored in my state anyway, why can't we use vast SA nuclear reserves to power the economy? Climate change is good for the economy. Like, you know, it's warped that we have to say it like that, but yeah, pretty much, right? Energy security is national security. Why can't you make a fire in your backyard? I mean, it's too small. It's too small. It's more like a courtyard, I would say. So like, I can't. I don't have the facility to do that. Yeah. And so like, yeah, I can't even cook my food. I would die without energy. Energy is a fucking human right. It should be taken off the market. And we should be investing in a diversified energy network and encouraging investment in new technologies. We should. It's just like, if you want to do capitalism, like it makes sense. And like, if you want to be able to live in the 21st century and like create a society that you can project from, you really should have energy security up front and not on the market. That's what I mean by like making it secure. No, it shouldn't be a marketable good. Water shouldn't be a marketable good. I believe housing shouldn't be a marketable good either. But you already know my opinions on that. Oh, wait, what did I do? Oh, no.
But we must act.
No.
If anything, Coral loves warm water, actually.
Coral loves
As an adult. Yeah, okay, makes sense.
I'm okay with diverse energy sector, but I don't like legislation based on ideology. I know the feeling. But like, you know, most legislation is really based on ideology at the end of the day. It's very rare to have objective, like purely objective legislation. Like, look at all this stuff with the hate speech laws. Look at this stuff with the gun laws. All right? You're a big champion of the fact that that's based on ideology and not based on objective factors.
Nah, mate, coral bleach is an entirely natural phenomena. If anything, coral loves warm water, actually.
Harold Holt, are you a climate denier?
Look, I've been down here for the last 60 years. I'm not going to tell you the climate hasn't been changing. It has. But down here, we just call that the weather.
Like, it should be based on fact. But like, what I describe the system that we have is a bourgeois system. And so the bourgeois system is based on party politics. And parties like explicitly in this system base their mandates, their objectives on ideological grounds. And like most of the time they will do things based on their ideology. Sorry. Coral loves warm water. Yeah, he said that. Did you hear that?
I'm so confused. Why would they be telling me all this if it's not true?
You're not sure.
Like, obviously, if we're talking about coral, you know, in the tropics, that makes sense. But like, you know, changes to water temperature does make a difference. I guess feelings don't care about facts. Eh? Yeah, hey, it works both ways, eh?
Guess there's some sort of $7 trillion industry that capitalises on this climate issue and therefore has to resort to fear-mongering in order to perpetuate the problem. But what would I know? I'm just a lost Prime Minister on the bottom of the ocean.
You're right. Quick, take me back to the surface. We have to let people know that the reef has regenerated. Climate change is a lie, and Harold Holt is alive and...
An ideology can align with facts if the ideology is about having the most regenerative practices and those practices are the most cost efficient and time efficient, then it's not a bad thing, is it? No. And I said, like, in some cases, then it isn't based on ideology. You do have legislation that is based on fact. But in the culture war environment that we have at the moment, my God, I would say a lot of policy decisions is based on ideology. Like where parties kind of put their moral standards, what type of preferences they have, or what type of issues that they want to support. And it's driven a lot by media as well. The media said this is the topic of conversation. This is the hill to die on. Like the electric vehicle stuff. Do you remember when what's his name? Shorten got fucking slain over the fact that EVs were gonna come in and we're gonna take over the weekend or something like that. That we're gonna destroy your weekend because you weren't gonna be able to drive properly in electric vehicles. And so the ideology drove the policy decisions in that regard. They had to scrap certain things. And then when the next government came in, or he lost, they changed the policy anyway. But like ideology was really driving a lot of the discussion around EVs and stuff. Yeah, ScoMo said that in 2019. Yeah, there's a lot of ideology that affects policy decisions. Like protest laws recently. There's been a lot of changes to protest laws. The idea that you even have to get paperwork done to protest, it flies in the face of being in a free society, if you ask me. But the ideology is all over that one. Pushing net zero targets, whatever the cost, is an ideology based on economics, saying because we can't afford not to isn't a solid argument. Then again, boomers were the main voting bloc back then. Not anymore. Ooh, interesting. Boomers. They get so much flack. Hey, everyone's upset with boomers. All right, this is it. We've made it to the end of the second season. I can't believe it. Felt like it was never going to end at one point. Zero-sum game. Eh?
Adam, do you want to play Hungry Hip Politics together? No, Elbow, I want to play this game. The zero-sum game. Okay, what are the rules? Well, in this game, you're the king of the island, and I'm your loyal advisor. Oh, cool! And together we're going to make the world a better place and increase our villagers' quality of life. So it's a collaborative game. Yeah, sure it is. Yes. Now, here are your starting cards. Thank you. Okay, so I've been dealt with economic recession, pandemic, and housing crisis. Oh boy. Oof. Okay, this is going to be a tough game. So, money's tight, quality of life is low, and there's not enough house tokens for all your people. Drats! Well, I guess I should probably sort these people out with some housing then. You could, but I think you should consider opening the borders and letting more people in. But there's not enough housing as it is. Elbow, you can't say that. Now you get the bigot token, and you have to take political damage, and I get a political point. Why do you get a political point? If you lose, I win. Don't worry about it. Let's draw another card.
Zero-sum game.
No, crime spree.
I don't know any millennials or Gen Z voting for Liberals or liking Labour either. I don't know about the last part. An interesting observation on the first part though. Is that true? There's still the young Liberals, right? That's still a thing. I met a young Liberal accidentally. Interviewed them at the first March for Australia. Didn't realise.
Alice Springs, do you want to sort it out or do you want to choose a different event? Different event! Australian Open? Yes, I'll go to that instead. Nice one. And I played the ABC card to convince everyone the problem was white supremacy. So now we both get a political point. Yay! All right. Well, I guess we better sort out this housing problem now. Whoa, not so fast. I just pulled the climate change card, which means you need to get rid of all your coal, oil and gas right now. What? No, let me see that. No, don't ask questions, Elbow. That's political damage for you. Oh, no, I'm nearly dead. But I can't get rid of all my coal right now. Maybe by 2045, but not right now. You need to do it now. It's not feasible right now, Adam. Just use the sun tokens. Adam, I'm the king, so my decision is final. Ooh, ouch. Now you can't rely on me to pass legislation anymore. I've blocked you. Oh, look, and there's a social media shitstorm and it's coming your way. You take 1,000 points of...
Isn't it? LOL. Left Liberals or the right Liberals?
Political damage. I get 1,000 political points. I win, you lose. Hang on. How come every time I succeed, you also get the political points, but every time I fail, I take all the damage and you still get the points? It's how the zero-sum game works, Elbow. Nah, I don't want to play anymore. Miss! Adam is being ideologically...
Yeah, I know, right? Him, and then not needing to rely on anyone else now either. It's even more hilarious with him being ousted in the last election. What's even funnier is that like they're making out like their political opposition, I guess, or One Nation here is making out that their political opposition is involved in a zero-sum game. Like, that is just politics today, baby. Like, look at the response to Bondi. Look at the response to Bondi. It's been nothing but zero-sum game. People that are oppositional to the current government rocking up and getting fucking points and rubbing, using the event, using the tragedy to just destroy their opposition or sling mud at their opposition anyway. And zero-sum game for sure. Not everybody loses and not everybody wins out of the tragedy, it would seem, from a political standpoint. You have to have a winner and a loser.
Richard!
Well, stop playing the zero-sum game with him then.
Well, I just want him to play a collaborative game with me.
The Greens are more interested in their own agenda, Elbow. Why don't you play with Pocock or Lambie instead?
Savage takedown there. I hate having to defend why Labor is better option compared to the right Liberal. Well, like people aren't interested in knowing. Like, if you've got a system and you're not happy with the system, so then you've got to actually pick at the end of the day when it comes down to facts don't care about your feelings, and you actually have to make a decision on that ground of governance, then yeah. I don't think people want to know. Like, they don't actually talk about it functionally. But yeah, I understand. I understand the feeling. Yeah. But like, you know, such is your lot in life. You have to constantly discuss it with people. It's just whether they're listening or not. But at the end of the day, bourgeois system, bourgeois results, doom. What did she get? 77k views on this one? Damn. When the system is least worst option rather than best option, you should change that system. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to have a quick break and we'll be back with some more. So don't go anywhere. Hold tight. See you in a sec. what we're looking at here. I hate the idea that we have a least worst option system. No, we don't. That's America. What America has, we have an all vote for individual best candidate. So we have a best option first system. However, people don't agree what the best option is. So that's what's left most of the time, is the least offensive option. Bourgeois politics is a zero-sum game. I bet people will vote right because immigration, but I bet you that the right party loves immigration. Just look at Trump, LOL. It's an interesting point, isn't it? Eh? Just have to say what type of immigration, though, eh? Looks like it's going to be a national buyback scheme. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Interesting. Let's have a look, shall we?
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese speaking there. Just to recap, the PM has said he met with the National Security Committee this morning. He's received some new information about Sunday's anti-Semitic terrorist attack at Bondi, confirming this was an ISIS-inspired attack. As a result of that attack, there will be a boost to gun laws, including a buyback scheme, the largest since the Port Arthur massacre in 1996. He said there is currently 4 million weapons or guns in Australia, which is more than at the 30 years ago at the time of that massacre. Now, there will also be a boost to powers of Operation Overlight, which has been established to deal with anti-Semitism. Now, this...
At least I can hand in my plastic gel blasters as firearms and get some cash back. Move those nasty belt-fed magazine shotguns to Class C. What is this? Jesus Christ is Lord says. What is this?
Sunday, he's suggested flags across the country will fly at half-mast, and all Australians are being asked to light a candle at 6:47 p.m, exactly 1 week after those attacks at Bondi, and observe a minute's silence to remember the victims. A lot to unpack there. Let's go straight to federal politics reporter Amanda Kopp, who joins me live now. Amanda, talk us through what was just announced.
Yeah, Kate, well, it will be a day of mourning on Sunday the 21st. That's exactly 1 week after the Bondi attacks. The Prime Minister confirming that all Commonwealth government buildings will have their flags flying at half-mast. And it will really be a day of reflection and mourning for
I've seen buildings with Australian flags or properties with Australian flags flying at half-mast already.
Entire Australian community. Here was the Prime Minister.
Upside down to really show what's happening.
Earlier.
It is a moment to pause, reflect and affirm that hatred and violence will never define who we are as Australians.
Now, the Prime Minister has also announced this gun buyback scheme that will involve several things. Citizenship will now become a condition of those laws. They'll also be introducing caps as well.
Whoa, there you go. Someone mentioned that the other day. I think it was Woozle was like, don't you have to be a citizen? And I assumed the same thing. You had to be a citizen to have a gun. And I think Indoctrinathan was questioning the validity of that. Any thoughts on that, anyone? Should you have to be a citizen to own a gun? I don't know if that would have stopped anything, though, in this case, because they were citizens.
Although how many will be allowed is yet to be determined. The Prime Minister is negotiating with the states and territories to work out those laws.
We need to get more guns off our streets. We know that one of these terrorists held a firearm licence and had 6 guns, in spite of living in the middle of Sydney suburbs there at Bonnyrigg.
There's also going to be a boost to the AFP. They'll have increased funding to implement some of those laws and to have a better look at national security task forces as well, Kate.
Yeah, and of course, Amanda, this comes after a lot of pressure on the PM, including from the opposition leader. Where have we seen Susan Lee today?
What was that?
Yeah, so
Did she
on the
just shake her finger?
security task force as well, Kate.
Yeah, and of course, Amanda, this comes after a lot of pressure on the PM, including from the opposition leader. Where have we seen Susan Lee today?
Roll it.
Yeah, so Susan Lee has been at Bondi meeting with surfers on the beach who did that paddle out event. She's been there since the crack of dawn, really. And she also walked across the...
How's the fucking PR for the opposition leader? What's going on here? Oh my God.
Bridge that these two shooters carried out their attack on, joining with locals and other mourners there.
I heard directly from people who sheltered under that bridge, who saw gunmen.
Yeah, no. What citizenship got to do with anything? Many of the people who acted to save lives and those who died weren't citizens. It's sick. Yeah. Yeah, but like that, how are those two things related though? So are you saying that, is this the dilemmas argument? That if those people had guns, the people that helped act to save lives, if they had guns, they would have stopped something? It's like, what religious belief got to do with any of this? I just don't understand why people that aren't citizens would need to walk around with guns. Like, why do the tourists need to have a gun license? Apart from, like you said, like the very, very, very small amount of people that come to compete in the Olympics. Like, I don't understand why a tourist needs to have guns.
Who will never be able
really
to walk through this part of Bondi.
What, tourists need guns to work on a farm? What type of farm work is this? We keep sending them there? Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. The people that I know that have come here and like with working holiday visas and all that sort of stuff, and they've done they work on rural properties. I can't remember ever the topic coming up that they required a gun for their employment. Not the ones that I've spoken to anyway.
Again, without all of those feelings coming back.
Now, Kate, she's also really upping the pressure on Anthony Albanese to recall Parliament early to pass these major hate speech reforms that were announced yesterday, but the Prime Minister yet to confirm whether Parliament will come back early.
Amanda Kopp at Parliament House, thank you. Now to confronting scenes in Sydney's southwest. Counter-terror police making dramatic arrests on a busy road. Detectives are now looking into whether the men were heading to Bondi Beach before they were intercepted. Live to James Wilson, who's at Liverpool Police Station for us. James, what are we learning this morning?
Hey God. One nation going to save this country. And Lee as well, right? Sorry, just fell off a ladder. Apparently, yeah, opposition leader Susan Lee, she's gonna save this country with One Nation. She's back in the good books now. A tragedy has awakened the dead, the spirit of the coalition, and now they're relevant again. People here, whether they be Australian or not, should have the same rights as an Australian. I'll die on a hill for that principle. Okay. Fair enough. I don't know, man. I don't know why tourists need weapons. I don't even know why Australian citizens need weapons. I'm still not sold on that one either. Like, even if it's recreational, you know? I don't know. Vote. The Bogans are frothing. Vote will go to nothing. Camel hunters get access to semi-autos. Lots of reasons needed firearms on a farm. Yeah. I'm with you, my commie brother. It's a difficult one, yeah. You start there and all of a sudden we're talking about foreigners' access to healthcare. Slippery slope. But tourists don't have access to our healthcare system. Like if they're coming from a country and we have like, you know, with Italy or something like that, and we have one of those agreements because we both have socialized healthcare systems and we look after each other, then fine. But like not all tourists have access to healthcare. Like usually they would take out some type of insurance, like travel insurance, and that would cover their medical needs. Are you saying that they, like hospitals just denying them access or something like that because they're tourists? The One Nation vote will just eat up the libs. Yeah, or maybe that's why they're pushing Susan so much. Access to healthcare is not medical. Okay, so you're saying that this is the tip of the iceberg, and if you know we deny them the same rights, then we might be like, no, turn them away at the hospital. We're not serving them, or we're not servicing them. That's what you mean. Okay. Yeah, drag on the system. Right. Got it. A lot of disabled people use target shooting as a hobby. Figures the uni party want to screw over disabled people. Also, you're talking about tourists. I'm talking about them and visa workers. Right. Even though Scandinavian countries don't. My travel buddy broke his arm moshing in Europe. And it costed him a little bit, not USA prices, but still a bit. Yeah, savage. Did he have like travel insurance or anything? Interesting.
Well, Kate, these 7 men from Melbourne are currently being detained behind me at Liverpool Police Station under a Commonwealth detainee warrant. Essentially, it means that police can hold them until 7 p.m. tonight as they investigate their movements and why they were here. If they don't have any information to charge them with, then they will be released and free to go without charge tonight. But let me take you back to tomorrow where this all kicked off. It was a tip from Victorian Police to New South Wales Police that this group of men were travelling up to Sydney. Their reasons still unknown, and of course police acting on the information that they may hold extremist Islamic beliefs jumped on them, arresting one car on George Street in Liverpool. And today we can reveal this second scene around the corner. A blue hatchback also pulled over and 2 men detained there in some incredibly hectic scenes in a Liverpool CBD witnessed by many people, including this one.
It looks like a fucking ice raid. Maybe we've all seen a lot of footage of that.
Woman.
All of a sudden we hear like a car crash at the back of the office, and it was just normal. But then we heard like screaming, get out of the car, and hands up. It was a bit weird first.
Given this 7 p.m. deadline right now, both New South Wales Police, Victorian Police, the AFP and ASIO are conducting...
Honestly, you can put a bajillion rules on firearms and there will still be bad players out there. Yeah, it's the Jerry Poppins theory of everything. He was saying just the other day that it's two-pronged. There's the radical element, the ideological element, and the firearms. What's that? Hectic scenes in Western Sydney today, bro. Hectic, bro. Fucking hectic.
Frantic investigation. What can they find out about these men? What intelligence and evidence do they have to potentially charge them? At the moment, there's nothing that links them to the 2 Bondi shooters, and there's nothing to...
What the fuck? Honestly, there's nothing. What did they say this morning? It was they're ideologically linked. They're ideologically linked. Our rules are only enforced by people in a job role. They need to be on the ball. Every cop seemed to be on the ball that day. Fully hectic, bro. It's fully hectic.
Suggest that they were on their way to Bondi at that very moment. Just intelligence.
Was this in Western Sydney? Yeah. Depending on what media report you hear, it's southwestern Sydney. This was in Liverpool, which is like, it's pretty Western Sydney as you can get, if you know what I mean. Reading on the migrants, and it seems Australian en masse are dumb shits who, without migration, would have massive gaps in services. Only 1 in 20 long-term migrants hold secondary education as their highest qualification. Half of that rate for background work, for half the rate for the background workforce. Reading on the migrants, and it seems Australia on massive dumb shits who without migration would have massive gaps in services. Only 1 in 20 long-term migrants hold secondary education as their highest qualification, half the rate of the background workforce. Police will get long guns in their cars now, like America did after the North Hollywood shootout. I'm from Penrith, like I said that originally. Yeah, there we go. Around 27% of migrants, both long-term and recent, hold a postgraduate qualification compared to 15.2% of the Australian workforce as a whole. Undergraduate qualifications are also more common, 47.2% of recent and 40% of long-term migrants compared to 29.5% of the total workforce. Holding a vet qualification as the highest qualification is lower for migrants than the Australian workforce. Interesting, because there's been a lot of rhetoric about we need to get the right people in. So like we seem to be getting persons that are at least educated in so they can integrate into the economy, because that's what it's all about. We are done because you can't get entry-level job. No one wants to train on job, and a lot of casualization. That's a scary reality, isn't it? I'm a bogan with a Holden. Not but much bothers me, mate.
That shows they may have shared extremist ideology and had arrived in Sydney. And Kate, in some breaking news, I've just spoken to this group's lawyer. He tells me he's spoken with this men and they tell him they were simply visiting Sydney on holidays. All of that will be discussed and, of course, be represented back to police as they figure out what's going on. But, of course, at this time, everybody, including police, incredibly jumpy and jumping on anything that may be deemed a threat, including what happened here in Liverpool. Kate will bring you more information as it unfolds.
James Wilson with the latest. Thank you. Now to Bondi, where the community has come together this morning, hundreds taking to the water as a symbol of support.
Interesting. There you go. Oh, they've turned off comments, Channel 9. Interesting. Ex-Monaro driver, props to Holden. Interesting. Where's the Gronks in the Fords? I haven't heard the word Gronk in ages. Wow. Very interesting. All right, let's watch some Sky News propaganda, shall we? This is the rhetoric we heard this morning. That I'm assuming this is what you were referring to, Dilemmas, when they refused to use certain words. PM continues to dodge questions on Islamic extremism. Right here, I'm a Ford guy, LOL.
Yesterday's police arrests. How many suspected Islamic extremists are on ASIO's watch list? And considering these events, is radical Islam an enemy from within Australia? Are there too many people here who don't share Australia's values and culture?
Well, when it comes to figures and ASIO's work, I will leave those comments to the Director-General and as to whether they wish to make those matters public. I can say this, that one proponent of support for ISIS, motivated by a perversion of Islam that leads to extremism, is one too many.
How many guns should people be allowed to have? For example, if someone is living in suburban Sydney, how many will you consider putting a cap on the number of guns they're allowed to have?
That is the subject of work. Because these are state laws, I mean, one of the things that happened, to be clear about the guns issue, is that New South Wales said on Monday morning they were going to act on guns. One of the reasons why there should be national leadership and a national cabinet process was brought in, because these laws are largely done by states and territories. The laws are only as strong as the weakest laws in any state. So Western Australia, for example, has, in the wake of a recent incident, undertaken a strengthening of their laws, something that I suspect you're conscious of, given your recent media background. That's why we have tasked Minister Minns, together with Premier Minns, together with Premier Cook, to oversee that process. They will undertake through state and territory governments, then come back to National Cabinet with...
It's a state problem. I don't know, man. All right, this one...
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has spoken to Shari...
But like, Bibi's back, baby. He's coming again. It wasn't enough straight off the bat. But Bibi's back to stab again. Let's have a little listen.
Markson following the Bondi terror attacks on the weekend. He spoke of his warnings to Anthony Albanese.
Netanyahu, thank you very much for your time.
What's Sky News
It's a
doing?
devastating-
Why are they fucking interviewing him for? Jesus.
Period in Australia. We've had funerals for a 10-year-old girl, Matilda, and a man who survived the Holocaust only to die at Bondi Beach. You personally implored the Australian Prime Minister Albanese in August in a letter, warnings.
I'm afraid he did. I think the writing was on the wall. You saw the anti-Semitic attacks. Well, first the anti-Semitic incitement, these marches that call to globalize the Intifada. What does that mean? It means murder innocent Jews around the globe wherever you can.
Straight off the bat, here's the manufacturing consent. Here's your little window there. Straight off the bat, it's just like, see, you had your Palestinian marches, and this is what happens when you let people march. Eh? Shouldn't have let people talk about Palestine in your country. You sort of suppress that entirely. You shouldn't have let 200,000 people walk across your bridge. You did this. All those 200,000 people are responsible for this.
And the
war criminal on TV.
Radical Muslims, ISIS, and the Muslim Brotherhood fan it all the time. And you know that they go to the places where Jews are not protected. And I called for I call now too, for the intensification of security arrangements around Jewish institutions. I'll talk about that a little more.
Yep.
Going actively against these terrorist cells and these radical Islamic cells, acting to put them in jail, stop them before they act. Yes, I wanted all that to be done. And I say now to the Australian government, damn it.
Indoctrinathan, I have got to bounce early today. I got to quit. I got to cut the stream about 10 minutes. I'm not sure if you're streaming or if you're in a position to stream, but please let me know. I'm sorry for the late notice. I only just realized what the fucking time was. But like, let me know if you are being rated. I got to go about 22. Let me know. Indoctrinated, if you are listening.
Wake up. You don't need any more warnings. You've already received enough.
What the warnings? What, people marching? Hey, I told you, shouldn't let them march. Hey, picking Australia is my shtick. No, I'm not getting home until at least 3:30. So no raid today. Okay, fair enough. Sorry. Good luck to you, sir.
I want to talk a bit more about how we got here and then the solutions. Do you think Australia, the Albanese government's premature recognition of a Palestinian state, its anti-Israel rhetoric, often criticising Israel more than Hamas, also, as you just said, refusal to act on hate chants, did all of this fuel the anti-Semitism that we've seen and indirectly lead to the attack in Bondi?
Indirectly lead, like, just feed him a little bit more. Wow. Did this lead to indirectly? Be fair, she did say indirectly, but like, wow. Talk about fucking controlling that narrative. Damn.
Look, I think that after October 7th,
this is disgusting, isn't it?
Recognized and called for a Palestinian state. Basically rewarded
Israel
Hamas
first.
and rewarded savage murder of Jews. That's how it was interpreted in the radical Islamic quarters. The message that was heard by this action was, kill Jews, you'll get rewarded. So that's the first point. I think there are other things that could have been done and should have been done, but it's, look, it may be late in the game, but better late than never. There is time for action now. And I hope there's this action, because it certainly wasn't up to now.
Well,
Let's see what the Palestinian PM thinks. Oh, wait. Yeah, no.
Let's talk about the action. I mean, the reality is Australia has let too many people in who have a hatred both of Western values and of Jews. Our authorities, our intelligence agencies can barely keep up with monitoring them. So what would be
Is it like a fact or something? Like, there's some type of evidence report and assessment done, something handed to ASIO or the government that says that people have been let into the country that don't like Australian values and don't like Jewish people? Is there like some type of report, or is this just like a massive and broad assumption? Hey, we're letting in all these people in the country that don't like Australian values and they don't like Jews. And I base that on absolutely nothing.
Advice to Australia, to the government, to Albanese on how to contain now the threat of Islamic extremism?
Well, there is intelligence, and you have to act on intelligence. Intelligence is worthless if you don't act on it. If you know that somebody is a radical Muslim, the last thing you do is give him repeated and multiple permits for weapons. That's crazy. You should see if this was done. If this was done,
That's just Shari being hyperbolic. Okay, fair enough.
that's completely insane. There's no other word for it. On the other side, you know that Jews are going to be targeted, so have the ability to have armed guards. Look, in Israel, we foiled hundreds, no, maybe more than hundreds, maybe thousands of terrorist attacks, but certainly hundreds, by having on site people who had weapons. You cannot fight with your bare hands against somebody who comes with.
Could you imagine that now, going down to Bondi Beach and you see an event and there's armed guards standing around? Fuck. Is this really what he's calling for? My God. But it's okay to give radical Zionists billions of dollars of weapons. Nothing to see here, folks. Yeah. There's the good terrorist and there's the bad terrorist. Good terrorist, bad. Oh my God.
Kalashnikov rifle or an automatic rifle, it's impossible. And just imagine if you had on that beach, on that Hanukkah gathering, if you had several armed people, several armed guards, 10, 15, even 5.
There we go. Where shall we hire them from? And if those armed guards are Aussies, who trains them? More important question is, what if they aren't citizens or they weren't born here? Should they allowed to be armed guards? Because then you'd be giving people guns that shouldn't have guns. Eh? Imagine if they meddle without subs. I have to have armed guards at my kid's school, but you pay for armed security at your kid's school. But I can't defend my right to have a gun. Righto. I mean, they do this. They do shit to the USA all the time. What's that? Ricochet deaths would have been off top. There's that word. Imagine. Interesting
It
point.
would be over. That's what we've seen time and again in Israel, time and again. And that saves the day. And I think that's required right now. The world has changed. Recognize the change. You can recognize it before it hits these unspeakable, tragic proportions. And, you know, you see these Holocaust survivors, you see a 10-year-old girl, Matilda, and snuffed out. That can be prevented. But you have to take action on intelligence.
Look at his
you have
books.
to tighten security.
Look
You
at
have
the books
to
on
act
his
against
bookshelf.
radical cells. And you
He's
have
got
to,
one self-titled. He's got his own autobiography there, just in case anyone wants to read it. There's a book called BB. Yeah? I know you're all interested.
to be prepared also to stop these hate marches. You can't just say democracy and freedom is not the freedom to, the freedom to shot fire in a crowded theater. It's not the freedom to say, kill all the Jews. It's not. But that's effectively what the government of Australia has allowed, and that was bound to...
The Australian government has effectively allowed the freedom to say, kill all the Jews. Man. Fuck. He's draining, this guy. He really is fucking draining. Why have they seen it time and time again in that place? What causes the people to take up arms? Yeah, I know, right? Why are these people fighting against you? Wouldn't it be because there's land disputes going on, eh? Okay, in the imaginary world where we receive said submarines, they could possibly be sabotages by bad actors. If we think otherwise, we are dumb.
To reach these tragic outcomes, just as I warned Prime Minister Albanese. Look, it's important now. My point right now is take action now. Don't wait anymore. That's what the
do what?
Jewish community...
Like, what could you have done? Like, what does he want to have happened? He never articulates what it is exactly.
In Australia was begging the government to do. And right now, I don't think anyone has to beg. I don't think you have to do anything except demand immediate action.
The Prime Minister yesterday announced some new laws. I mean, it took the death of 15 Australians, and even then that wasn't enough. He announced gun reform, gun laws. He had to be dragged kicking and screaming to hold a press conference on anti-Semitism. So he's announced some reforms, but the concern is that the action on hate preachers and hate speech are as it relates to promoting violence.
Yeah, he did. He clamped down on freedom of political expression. Yeah. My God. USA owns the tech subs. It's a John Deere system, isn't it? Rent to use. We might own the subs, but the software, that's turn-offable. If we piss off the USA, is it not? Albanese is no fool. I hope he sees through the BB bullshit. I don't even think it's really up to him to see through the bullshit, to be honest. I think it's everybody else that needs to see through BB, and what he's trying to do. Seriously. It's the only social freedom we actually have in Australia. And that's too much for BB. Yeah. It's crazy. I'm out. I can't deal with BB anymore. He's too much. But I have to call it anyway. But yeah, thank you everybody who's been interacting today. If you're new here, you've been watching this. You've been enjoying the banter. Come over to and join our Discord community. Come and be part of the crew. Drop your propaganda. And who have we got today? Who have we had? Dr. Nathan, Voltateur. David was in the house for a bit. Tom Jones is back. Spandonk is in the house. Jag. Ross. Woozle. Tom Jones is back. I said that twice. Who else we had? Stew of the Art. Had a number of people in today. 4IS. LARP Jeff hanging out on a Friday. Jesus Christ is Lord. Tayguard coming in at the end. Who have I missed? Anyone? If I have missed you, I'm sorry. But thank you for all your interactions today. And yeah, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your time off out of the service of capital. I hope you do get your weekend. And I'm pretty sure we will be back on Monday with a stream, but I'll let you know on the socials. But like, we're getting close to the end of the year. But yeah, enjoy your weekend. I hope you, like I said, get away from the clutches of capital for a little bit and enjoy some free time. And yeah, thank you for all your interactions today. And for anyone who's watching after the fact, thank you as well. If you haven't already and you're on YouTube, hit that like button. And until next time, please remember, I am, you are, we are a mystery.